Welcome back to 1010's podcast. Michael, Adam, Robbie.
Adam.
Again.
Hello there.
Hello, Adam. How are you?
I'm actually pretty good. How are you guys?
I've been told that you ruined Time Attack and you're a jerk.
That's what I've heard. I always have to start a podcast by saying, how are the levels? And I think we're things. So
we did that. We did that for 15 minutes.
Yeah, but you didn't do it for me. We only talked about weird stuff like how terrible I'm dressed and things like that.
Yeah, when we were talking about your terrible clothing, I was checking your levels. It's because I'm a professional audio engineer. We just talked about this.
I'm just going to play with my own levels.
That's fine. You can do that.
That's fine.
Do you feel at home now, Robbie? You said you've been listening to Slip Angle a little more.
I haven't listened.
Yeah.
I listened to him like all the way down to St. Louis.
That's too bad. That's a long drive.
I listened to the ones that you're on.
Okay.
Have you been to Gateway? Jabaay?
I've not been to Gateway. I've driven by it. But,
It's mean.
Yeah. I heard it bites a little bit. I
Watch that
have
first
multiple
corner.
friends who have found the wall there.
Me too.
Which corner was that?
1 and 2.
It's turn. So you and I both did Roval things this week.
Yes, we
That was
did.
cool.
Oh, that's right.
What's turn 1? Is that the one
It's coming off
Dropping.
off the straight going into the road course.
going down in? Okay. Yeah, that's the same as Daytona, the turn 1. I almost binned up Tom McGorman's K-Swap B-Spec car like real bad at Daytona.
He made sure to
internal-
let everybody know that it wasn't his fault, though.
No, it was not my fault. It was
Well,
like,
I never said it wasn't my fault.
Wait, why wasn't it Jabay's fault?
Because, I guess I should start at the beginning for this story. So we went down to Daytona, and that was the season prize for our Time Attack 2018 champions for the different classes. So we had
Way
5
better
drivers.
than Bondurant, by the way.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a pretty cool. We had a good time. We had like a really good time. But so Power Stop kind of helped present it, and I was kind of the logistics behind it. And we used Tom O'Gorman's TSX engined Honda Fit, which was his original Pirelli World Challenge race car, his B-Spec Fit. And then they did a bunch of mods, different spring rates, bigger front tires, stuff like that. And Hasport put it's a TSX K24 into it. So it's really fast in a straight line. It's super fast. And so we were driving around in circles for like 10 hours. And then I was the alternate driver. Josh Orr wanted to do, who Robbie knows. He bought some fancy coilovers attached to a Z from Josh.
I did.
It's the Grid Life Supreme Collaboration coilovers.
That's right.
On an eBay
dude.
site near you.
Yeah, man, they do have those cool logos on them.
They do.
Yeah, Josh was like, I didn't wreck it the first time. You want to go in? You want to drive for me? Because basically, if they totally binned the car, there was the threat of you might have to buy it. So Josh was like, hey, you want the second stint? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to drive Daytona. It was really good. It was super fun, man. And then I get in the car and I'm all suited up, and they're going to change the front tires. And James Houghton looks at he changes the tires, or what I thought was the tires, and he comes in the window and he goes, one of the brake rotors is really cracked. And like we were basically done with our pit time frame, like our 5-minute window that we had to stay in pits. So I was like, let's just drive it. We'll figure it out. Because sometimes when you got a cracked brake rotor, it's not that big of a deal, and sometimes it is. I thought they had changed both front tires to our alternate set, which was a 245, a wider tire, and a different offset wheel. But it turns out they had only changed one of the tires, and so we're running a 225 on the driver's side and a 245 on the passenger side.
And different
totally different offset. It's like, I mean, we're talking like it was sticking out like this far on the passenger side, and it was like sunken in like this far on the passenger. And because like we're there in the heat of the moment, they didn't know, what the tires were. It's stuff that happens when you've been racing for 10 hours. And so I roll out onto the track, and the car's not wanting to go like super straight, but it was going straight. And I feel out, I get behind like a slow car. The neighbors that we were next to, it was on a stock VW Bug, and I followed them through the road course. And I thought, well, this is easy enough. This road course is pretty basic. I get back up onto the banking in turn 6, and like it's a little hard to steer. And I thought, well, it just must be what like Rovals are, right? And I hit the brake zone, and the car like goes like a little sideways. I thought, well, it's weird. That's how you want. Do the bus stop, and thought that was easy enough. I can do the bus stop. I get back onto the banking, and I start laying into it, and then I go for the brakes in turn one at like 125 or whatever, and the pedal goes straight to the floor, like donk. It made a donk noise. And luckily I had braked real early, just because I didn't know where I was even going. And there's no brake markers for one, so I had like hit it at start finish, and like that's where I found out. So I had time to pump it up, and like in the third pump, all four wheels locked and the car pitched down into a slide. Because I was like pumping really fast, because like when you're going 125 on a track you don't know and the brakes don't work, like you're trying really hard to make the brakes work. And the car pitches down into like a kind of a left-hand slide, and I drifted all of turn one, which is like, it's like a 300-foot long turn. It's huge. And then I thought, wow, this is actually going to work. Laid into the throttle again, little counter steer, and like right onto the road. It was like the perfect drift. And I radioed in and I said, we're getting pad knockback. Like it was real bad pad knockback from the cracked rotor. And what I suspect happened was when they pulled the wheel off, and they'd only changed one wheel. So that's why the car was turning sideways, like heavily. When they pulled the wheel off, that's when the brake rotor like really cracked. And when I looked at it after I got in out of the car, I mean, the crack was like 3/16 of an inch. I mean, it was a giant crack.
I don't remember if it was you or
it was
Matt
split
that sent
all
me
the way
that picture.
down.
It was bad.
Like just
It's really bad.
It's huge. I mean, you see cracks on brake rods are usually like hairline fractures,
Yeah.
right? And you're like, oh, that's not good. No, this is like
You could see through it.
a chasm,
It,
right?
it looked like you took a Sawzall like all the way through the rotor.
It's so bad.
It was really bad. So yeah, when I got back on track, the rotor must have been a little bit warped, and it was kicking the pads back every time. And so I did a couple laps while they prepared for it. We had the rotors trackside, we're all ready to go. They had to find all the tools and find the welding gloves and all that stuff. But I did a couple laps, and I was just left foot and just tap 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 just to bring up the pedal, and then it was fine. The car was still turning pretty heavily. Which way did it go? It was turning heavily right in the braking zone. No, left, I think. I don't remember. But that was because of the stagger and the offset in the wheels. But so we corrected all those things, and then I drove for an hour, and I loved every freaking minute of it. I felt like there was I didn't feel prepared to do wheel to wheel when I got into the car, because I hadn't done it in a while. Like it's been a couple of years, and kind of getting out of the car, it was like this big sense of relief, because I thought like there was this part of my life that was like not existing anymore, and like all of a sudden like it's back, like I'm racing cars again. So I'm super grateful to Josh for giving me a stint. It was like I'm super energized to drive again, and hopefully I'll drive this stupid car behind me at Midwest Festival. So
yeah.
But yeah, it was a cool weekend. That was the weekend after our Mid Ohio event. So Mid Ohio was a lot of prep work leading up to it, and then 2 days home, and then we drove straight to Florida with a 60-foot long rig. And it was on the way down. There was wind advisories on the way down, like all the way down, until we got to like the Florida line. Like the RVs going like this the entire way, just back and forth, and it was a long drive. It actually took us like 26 hours to get there. We stopped and slept twice because it was just exhausting. Nobody else wanted to drive the rig, so I was the only one steering. But yeah, it was a good trip. We had a really fun trip, and I've had a really good like 12 days. Like I'm probably in the best mental place for that I've been in years. So
no wonder you're being an ornery fuck all week.
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah, I was. I'm pretty stoked.
Talking shit about Omnis.
Yeah, I was, and I do have the mechanical watch right there.
Timepiece, yes.
That's right. And is this so? What are we on right now? Are we on? I know how to do podcasts. Are we on like a collectivation or consortiumation, or what is this thing now?
This is
Consortination.
It's a collective.
It's a collective, right? You're part of the. You're part of the podcast, Automotive Podcast Collective.
Okay.
We all share one podcast now.
So these are things I don't really know. These terms are things I don't know what they are, but I do still know how to talk about shitty gas station pizza. So we can.
Hell yeah.
We can do that.
So Robbie, how was St. Louis? I'm going to start interviewing you.
You're gonna interview.
You are part of the collective, so this is your show too.
Yeah.
We were gonna
I
save
know.
that for later, but yeah, it was not horrible, but not great.
Yeah, that was the first time you were at
my
Gateway. Right?
Yeah, it's my first time at Gateway, and it's the first time in the car since October. So that it showed. It was pretty obvious that I was not comfortable in the car.
Yeah.
So I was making a lot of stupid mistakes.
Can we just real quick? Can we go through like your preparation and changes from that last Grid Life event, that last round 5 event? Because you didn't do a whole lot, but I think you made some important changes to the car, like tires and things like that. We've talked about it over the last 6 months, but it might be a good place to start.
Yeah, so I was running the Hankook Z214, so I was running slicks for the first time.
That's like the Hoosier looking tire, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've ran on those. Those are actually a pretty rad tire.
Yeah, and they were like way cheaper. And then I put them.
They're drastically cheaper.
Yes, like half price.
I don't know how they do.
Great, sounds great.
And then I got the 9 Lives Racing Wing or Wang. It's a huge
Wang.
Large
You have to
Wang.
use
And
Wang.
It is as tall as SCCA max class will allow.
Right.
Which is
How tall is that
6
above
inches above the roof line.
Oh, okay. Does that include end plates?
Yes,
or-
on that one it does include end plates.
Okay.
So it's the top of the end plate is 6 inches above.
Good old Johnny Wing. Good old Johnny Wing.
Yep. And then I replaced the pedals with like legit Sparco, like drilled in pedal covers.
Okay.
Right.
And those felt better but different. So yeah, just a few things, nothing dramatic.
Could you feel the wing? You know it's there. Is it any does the car feel more planted in the rear?
It's called a Wang. Adam.
Sorry, Wang.
Yeah, I'd say so. And it was, I guess that and the tires everything felt more planted.
Oh,
in all
yeah. I
reality.
suppose
And
it's kind of hard to.
I honestly didn't even get a chance to really push it.
Right.
Like, because I had one good session practice where I was on pace with the GT4. I had
Yeah,
a
boy.
minute 9.8 on my 12th lap or 14th lap ever on that track.
Pretty
And
good.
I thought it was pretty good. I was pretty pumped about it. And then the
You
next
were
session,
fastest of your session.
oh, was I really?
Yeah, I looked.
I beat the Porsche?
You were fastest of your session
No shit.
in practice.
In practice, yeah, when it doesn't count.
Yeah,
Or matter.
exactly.
So close.
Yeah.
Dude, everything counts at Grid Life. Just time attack with us.
Okay. Yeah, just throw me in track mod. I'll be fine because clearly I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. But
You
yeah,
have to get a new set of tires to run track mod with them. No.
Do I? What do I have to get?
Yeah, you would need 100 treadwear or no, 60 treadwear or higher this
Yeah.
year.
You son of a
Those are
bitch.
probably
These are
40s,
40s.
if I had to
Yeah,
guess.
these
Yeah.
are 40s.
Hoosiers and those, any full slick like that is usually a 40.
Why you got to change the rules on
Wow,
that?
you're
you
just disappointed around.
It's
Well,
just,
it used to
we
be
talked about it
100.
last week. It's just money.
Am I running an unlimited then?
Yeah.
All right, I'm in.
Right now you are,
unlimited.
yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. They keep paying you every week. Right?
Every week.
They do.
Every single week.
Every week, every other week a paycheck shows up.
Oh, well.
I mean, well, you just
you
gotta
go to
wait.
work and you make money and then you come home again. Like,
Sometimes,
what's
yeah.
the big deal?
What's the in between? Where are you spending the money otherwise?
Yeah.
Not very
Utilities? Lame.
lame.
Who needs those?
Who needs lights?
It's not like you have kids,
I don't have kids. I got dogs.
so I don't even want to hear about it.
So anyway, Robbie's buying new tires.
Going to grid
Robbie's
work.
getting a set of R888s or something, so we're good with it. We're good there.
Could do
And,
that.
Some Viper ACR tires.
Yeah, there you go. That's the tire. That's
315
actually the
square.
jam right there. You got to buy some 19s, which would go well with your icy hot stunner blue look there.
It would actually. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
What?
What was that again?
Icy hot stunner.
Dude, do you know what the icy hot stunners are?
No, but
All right, Google them right now. The icy
Oh
hot
no, it
stunners.
is a thing. I
I
thought you
can't-
made that.
Is that
shit
a
up.
wheel?
between recording and having
Uh-oh.
your video feed, I can't look up anything. It kills
on,
it, dude. I'm not.
Icy hot
Icy
stunner.
Stunner.
Yeah.
I got.
These.
What are you
these
talking
the
about,
icy
man? I've
hot
got
stunner.
pictures
Where
of.
we are.
This is
them right there.
that's Cardi B for sure. What is this? You're
Icy
talking
hot
about?
stunters, dude.
What are you doing, dude?
This is like from
Oh,
2001.
stunners.
Yeah, stunners.
Stunners.
With a Z.
Stunt. No, stunt us.
Stunt.
Oh.
Stunt us.
Yeah, you stunting on these hoes.
Oh no, you know what this is, Adam. Well, I got to be careful not to unplug all the recording and make us all start
yes.
away.
Yes,
One of them had a
yes.
V6
Okay, I'm
Pontiac.
there now.
One of them had a Eclipse, and I
Yep.
think one of the other guys had some. I don't remember what it was.
I'm
but
with
was
you.
it-
I see a
they're
Mustang
like,
that says VTEC on the front.
they're like the original car guy meme for like racers.
I'll go out on a limb and say there was never a VTEC in a Mustang.
I think we
I
can
feel-
safely
I feel-
say
Can I-
that.
can I
yeah.
say that
No,
one?
I think you're good there.
Okay.
I think somebody has swapped a K24 into a Mustang though.
I know there's
That's
a
definitely more
K-powered
power.
Fox body.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, he probably used some crap that I helped develop. But
How do you
Yeah,
feel about
probably.
that, Adam?
I'm really good with that. I'm good with that.
It's his magical garage, man. I'm telling you.
I've made my life choices, and they usually involve other people making worse life choices after I'm done with them.
Yeah.
But he sleeps well at night still, so it's fine.
I do. I sleep really, really well. I don't know if it's the pure exhaustion or the booze fueled lifestyle, but
Both.
I sleep very, very well.
He's living a different lifestyle
Yeah.
than the rest of us.
He's over there with his copper cup.
He's got a copper cup. He's drinking gin out of.
I am. The only time that I'm abstaining to obtain superpowers during the events.
Yeah, it's weird
because
How that works, yeah.
that's how you get superpowers is you go to sleep and you don't drink heavily, and it totally works actually.
Did you do that last weekend at Mid-O?
2 weekends ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part.
Oh,
Yeah,
look at you.
pretty good. I think I had one beer at the Forge Line Pizza Party, so that was pretty good. Yeah, and when you're borderline problem drinker like me, like one beer, that's like having an Aquafina. So, no big deal. But
It's getting a little personal over here now.
Mid Ohio we didn't even talk about Mid Ohio yet.
No,
that was the
you
best
don't talk about
event we've
anything.
ever had.
He was just trying to roast me for my driving.
Yeah, wait, let's let Robbie finish. Let's let Robbie
Oh
finish.
yeah,
his
yeah,
bit.
yeah. Robbie crashed into a wall, and now he feels bad about
He
his car.
hadn't gotten there yet.
I hadn't even
Just let
gotten
him
there.
have this
Well, his
minute.
Instagram told me all about it.
Yep. I noticed he didn't like a single one of them.
Instagram.
Wow, he didn't even give you a virtual hug. That's really insulting.
I got real hugs from real humans at the Gateway.
Yeah.
Showed up and
Robbie.
now I can't remember any of their names, but one guy was like, "When you get here, I'm hugging you." I'm like, "I've never interacted with you with my life."
It was Tom, wasn't
Yep,
it?
it was Tom.
Yeah.
So I
Tom
showed,
who?
Eaton?
yeah. So
Long time listener.
so I showed up and like in the garage, I recognized his profile picture and go over and give him a hug.
Come here.
Nice to meet you.
Everybody's like, what? Why are they hugging?
Who is that guy?
What's that guy's deal?
He just showed up and he's getting hugs. It's weird, right?
Strange.
Did his dad die? What the fuck is this?
Yeah. But he's kind of happy.
He seems happy about it. Like it's. I
He's
don't know.
smiling. I mean, not really. Now he's scowling,
What is
actually.
your Instagram name anyway?
Rob Veerhout.
Rob Veerhout. That's why I can't find. There you are.
He's in
All right,
round
I'm gonna
face.
like everything from the
Oh,
past.
here we go. Make sure you screenshot it and then put it in
No.
your story and be like, thanks, Jabaay, or whatever your name is.
Yeah, I'll
It's so
Look out,
fucking
check,
lame.
Check those notifications, baby. You get them coming. They're coming in hot and heavy, man.
He didn't like any of my shit either.
No, he
just to
never
be
does. He
fair.
just creeps.
I don't care about Instagram. I think Instagram is such a waste of time. Man, that is a sick tattoo, though.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bro, Instagram is your people, man.
Yeah.
I don't care
Grid
about-
life
I'm
people don't
so-
use Facebook. I don't even know if they know what it is. Use
I'm way too busy
Instagram.
for Instagram. I'm way too
I'm with
busy for this.
Jabaay on this one.
No,
I got people for Instagram.
Every once in a while, I remember like, oh yeah, I should post something on Instagram.
I know that's the same thing I have. It's like, oh, when was the last time I did this Instagram thing? And then I think I should just delete this. This isn't even any fun.
That's how I
And then
feel
look
about all
at
the
it,
other
and
ones.
there's like pretty pictures of cars. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll do
That's
something.
how I feel about Facebook.
Facebook, any other thing besides Instagram. They can all
Facebook
go.
is utter trash. It's
Yes,
the gut
it can
of the
go.
internet.
Groups is
It's
the
a
only
gutter.
thing. Groups.
Join the consortium.
Consortiums.
So at Mid Ohio, they have like these pee troughs that you pee into.
Oh, I hate
in
that
the
racetrack.
in the South bathrooms, and I need to put like a big Facebook sticker in them because that is what Facebook is. It is the trough that you piss into, the rusty trough at Mid Ohio.
I think
near
that's
the
fair.
track bathrooms.
That's a drag
So-
strip thing too. Drives me nuts. I
Yeah,
hate it.
Hockey arena seem to have
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah, why is everybody
Just
standing
give me-
shoulder to shoulder,
Give me a
just
urinal and a divider, please.
touching each
Don't
other
touch
and
my
pissing
shoulder.
in this trough and the whole thing?
You
It's
can help
not
you. You
good.
can just reach over and help your friend and be like, "All right, don't miss, buddy."
Well, that's when you look over and go, "Nice watch."
Yeah. Yeah. Is that a vintage watch?
I know the conversation that Adam and I will have in the bathroom next time.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. 1976 right here, baby.
I'm 2015 today. I didn't wear my 1979.
That's too bad. I thought we were friends.
I didn't know that you were going to be wearing yours.
I only wore it for you, man. I was gonna wear both of them, and I was gonna put my Fitbit next to it and be like, "Check them out, dude. All free right there." Because I'm sure that's what watch people do, right? That's what they do.
Some people wear them on both wrists, which
They
is
just wear all their watches.
What? Like sometimes
that's a pretty hard flex.
Sometimes you gotta not do that, which would be all the time.
Yeah. So now that I've successfully started us down the path of the worst podcast I've done with you guys, how are we going to salvage this?
Okay, we're going to let Robbie finish his story.
This burning, floating heap of a ship that we, this consortium, the USS Garbage Consortium. Let's salvage it.
It's probably going to be our most favorite episode. But anyways, so practice went great. I was on pace.
Right there.
109.8.
What were conditions like? Was it dry track now?
Dry track, 50s, low 60s, a little windy, but all in all, it was a pretty nice day.
Nice.
And then first session, I went out, and this is when I started to realize that I'm in the top of fifth gear going down the straight. Fuel cuts out across the start-finish line. Then I got a little bit of ways to go. Then I brake. Then I take the turn.
Like you're out of gear?
No, I'm literally in the top of fifth gear. My fuel cuts out, like my rev limiter.
You're out of RPM?
Yes.
What is that? What is it, like 140?
No.
Don't you have another gear?
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
it's got to be like 140.
Okay.
That's got to be right up in there, dude.
Yeah, like a 6-speed should go to like...
maybe it is that fast.
Top of fifth and a T56,
Just-
I'll bet it's close.
Just for reference, I'm not saying it's
You
the
don't
same.
have a spreadsheet with your...
No, I don't.
I'm
Come on, bro.
not saying it the same. The C5Z06, which I realize is a transaxle,
Yes.
but it's still...
197 RPM, 197 miles an hour.
Yeah, 200 miles an hour at the end of sixth.
But he's probably got shorter tires and a different rear end.
Yes.
What do you have in there? Like a 411 or something like that, or 4.2?
Oh God. It's the 240 rear end, so I can't even think of what it is right now.
It's a factory 240.
So regardless, you're probably going like 140. If 6 gear probably goes north of that. Yeah, we were doing 140 at Daytona, and that's a big one, and we didn't have much power. You got all them HPs and all that America.
It's only 340.
That's a hell of a Honda motor. I'm just saying.
That's true. That's like 2 Honda motors.
Yeah, exactly.
3 or 4 Honda motors, like duct taped together, or however you make them work.
But
that's
anyways,
how you do it with Hondas, actually.
Yeah. So I was starting to figure out the course, starting to find better lines, and then going down the straight. Then I realized, okay, well, I have to be in 6th. I don't want to be, but I have to be. So shifting into 6th, and that's what fucked me up. I didn't think about it till like on the drive back. I'm like, you know what really started to go wrong? In the second session, or the first time session, when I started to shift into 6th, I would brake, and then instead of like shifting to 5th, taking the turn, and then gassing again to the end of 2nd, braking, then going to 4th, I was just going 6th, hanging in there, taking the turn, braking 6th to 4th, and I wasn't confident enough in my short shift, so I'm like, okay, now where am I? Shift, and it's taken too long. So it's literally all driver error where I go, okay, well, instead of a quick shift, it's 6th, neutral, 4th, and I'm in the tire wall.
Man, you got to skip shift that thing.
I know.
6th to 5th, then 5th to 4th. There's no
know.
better feeling than going, boom, boom, boom.
I know. It was
feeling right there.
Rookie corner got me with a rookie move. I'm fully aware. So yeah.
How tight is that turn 1 there? Pretty tight?
Not really. No.
I'm guessing it's not bad if you only needed to downshift to 5th.
Yeah, I took.
That's got to be a fast turn.
It's a pretty quick turn.
What's all that downforce you're making?
Sure.
He's probably passing people left and right. You know, he's got all this downforce now.
Yeah. But no, I'm messing with my shift. I looked up, realized there was the Mustang in my rearview mirror, and then tires. Shit.
So how bad was it?
Not bad. I locked up the brakes, slid for a little bit, hit the grass, then obviously it didn't matter. I'm just sliding.
Yep.
Almost picked up speed at that point.
Isn't it amazing how you go faster when you hit that green stuff?
Uh-huh.
It's crazy.
So then I'm like trying to figure out what, really I don't have any option. I'm just kind of braking. And then it just kind of goes straight into the tire wall. And I'm thinking I'm fucked. So, they're like, the track people come out and they're like, are you okay? Yeah, frustrated, mad. I'm fine. They go and the one guy tries to push me out. He's like, well, okay, hold on. Then he gets the truck out there and 2 more guys show up. They're like, we'll push you out. Okay. And then they backed up, and then the guy kind of like finagled my bumper and fender, and he handed me my headlight or my corner light. He goes, yeah, if you just go around there and you get to turn 3, they'll open the gate for you. You can just go in if you want and just go into the pits there. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, it's really not that bad. You're not even like rubbing or nothing. If you just want to, you can just go. I was like, what?
Robbie really wanted a tow.
Robbie was like, that front
want
end
my
is
moment.
gone.
Tow me out of here.
His tire's broken.
There's-
I need new suspension.
He's like, no, it's all good. So I went in, and then everyone's waiting at impound because it's the first session, so they impound everybody.
oh God.
So I go in there, and everyone just sees me roll in. And no one even looks up because they're like, oh, he's fine. It's all good. And then I get out of the car and I look. It's really not that bad.
It really isn't.
It cracked the splitter. It cracked a good hole in the bumper in a couple spots, and then broke it where the bumper meets the fender, and then dented in the fender pretty good, and then broke the corner light. The bash bar did everything. There's like literally no real damage in that whole car.
That's rad, man.
The
no,
carbon
no frame damage, no suspension damage.
No, the alignment didn't even change.
So,
It was perfect. Like it completely drove in a straight line.
first time I hit the wall, the alignment didn't change either.
And even the carbon fiber hood just flexed. It was fine.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Carbon fiber hoods are surprisingly durable, man.
I can see that.
I have video of when I got hit at the SCCA Majors race at Road Atlanta, and I got shoved into the back of a 2008 M3 or something, and like the carbon fiber hood basically folds over, and then it sprung back. Like,
How's that gin treating you?
it's just it's fine. That's just fat tongue and 14
Wait a
hours of
second.
work.
No, Jalopnik says carbon fiber doesn't do that. So I'm
Yeah,
going to
it's
say
true.
that you're just making shit up now.
No, well, the thing is, carbon fiber hoods are mostly fiberglass. I think that's
It's pretty.
I think that's
It's super thin.
yeah, it's just a bunch of junk that's glued together, and it just kind of finds its home again. But I was really surprised how well mine bounced back.
Yeah.
I put a big Band-Aid sticker over top of it, and it looked just fine.
That's my plan. Yep.
I have a Grid Life Band-Aid sticker if you want one.
I want it. I need it.
It's like yay big.
That's,
maybe
I know. I have an exact spot to put that. Right in the
it's 10
front.
by. I think they're 10 inches wide by 32 inches long. I think
That's a lot of inches, dude. Can I cut it in
Yeah.
half?
Yeah, you can do that, but some people like to come out with the big inches. So
No, it's not me.
when people wreck shit at Grid Life, it's usually wrecked. That's
Okay.
why I got big Band-Aids.
Okay, mine's not that bad. I just drilled a handful of holes and put a couple of zip ties on it.
Hell
And
yeah, you
I didn't
did.
miss a single session.
Hell yeah, you did.
How did you feel about the rest of the day?
My confidence was gone.
Yeah,
I drove really slow, and then on the 4th session, I was convinced I didn't know how to shift anymore. I was missing just normal shifts, like 3rd to 4th, fucked it up. 5th to 4th, fucked it up. 5th to 2nd's really easy because I fuck it up and spin. Mm-hmm. Then
So
I got black flagged because I didn't realize I didn't go off track.
Right.
And I just kept going. So I did 3 or 4 laps, and then they black flagged me and they send me in. I'm like, I don't know what I did. They're like, well, they said you spun and went off. I was like, yeah, I spun. I didn't leave the track though. Oh, okay.
Details.
Poor Robbie. What a bad day.
So I went through most of the sessions. I wanted to watch, or watch as much as you can on Race Monitor.
Yeah, you just see numbers.
But I didn't get any of the live sessions. But I went back and looked at all the old ones, and I looked at the practice, and I was like, Robbie's fastest. Hell yeah, 109, sweet. Went to the next one. I'm like scrolling. Where the fuck is Robbie? Minute 34. Oh,
I wasn't that slow.
I don't know what
it was. A minute
I don't know what it
minute
was.
11 or 13, I think, was
But-
what I was hovering out. And the last one was a minute 16 because I only was out for 10 laps and I kept making mistakes and said, "Fucking, I'm done for the day."
Yeah.
And then on
So how do you like those tires?
they're great except when it's sleeting and raining.
Oh yeah, they'd be pretty bad at that.
I was apparently I'm the only one that doesn't have some sort of rain tire. So on Sunday,
Oh, more tires to buy. Excellent.
Ooh, another set of tires.
if anyone's looking, I have 2 really shitty sets of rims for sale. But yeah, so Sunday I was out there. I skipped both practice sessions, went out for the time session, just put in a minute 45. Slow
In the rain?
In the rain, actually in the sleet. I was the only one on slicks. Just got my points.
Cashing it in there,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Fuck it.
Got my 3rd place points and moved on.
Hell yeah.
What event was that?
This is the mid-div SCCA time trials, and then yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think that was a time trials national event. But
No, not the nationals.
yeah. Well, I'm glad your car's running well.
Yeah, like, it ran perfectly fine. It's I've noticed that it likes to use oil, like
How much?
some blow by. Honestly, not a huge measurable amount. Enough to make it smoke a little bit. On like if I drive it, stop, and then when I first start it up again, it'll smoke, and then it's gone. So
Could be worse.
yeah, I'm not
be worse.
really worried about. I'm sure the engine's going to need to be rebuilt.
Valve guides?
You know what? It's whatever. It's fine.
It probably needs a top end job or something.
It's an
fucking
LS.
hate
It's like
valve
it's like
guides.
$5. They're like $5 at junkyards.
Yeah,
We've talked about this time
Yeah,
and
you
time
just get
again.
some different heads, you put them on there, you move on with it.
You don't
Yeah,
fix
I could probably
anything,
just
you
swap the heads in and
replace
make
it.
it
Put some on,
faster.
those smoke more, you take them off, put some different ones. You just fucking move on.
You got bad heads anyway.
Yeah, I got the shitty ones.
You got like the shittiest LS heads ever made
the 98s
by
yeah.
accident.
Yep.
Oh, you have early Camaro ones, don't
Yes, I do.
you? Yeah.
Probably make like 80 more horsepower if you get some.
Yeah, but then I get
different
jumped to production E. I can't go any more power. If I put
Just don't re-dyno and no one will know.
I have to
Right, Adam?
Yeah. Depends on if there's dynos at events, right?
Yeah. I don't need to go any faster. I have enough driver problems I need to figure out.
You can probably get those things rebuilt at like some Iowa machine shop for like $18 a head.
There's
Probably.
a machine shop I drive by on my way to work every day, right in the outer edge of Nevada. That's all they do.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Heads.
LS heads all day long. Yep.
Yeah, they could
If you
knock it
don't,
out in
if you don't
afternoon.
need valves, it'll be about $400.
Okay.
That's not the end of the world. That's like
It's just money.
It's like $8 in race car money.
Yeah. Or I could buy brand new ones for like $260. They're everywhere.
That's probably true. What do you rev that thing to? Like 7,000?
No, it doesn't even get that high because the fuel cuts out at like 6,700. I want to say
Oh, okay.
it's not that. high.
I have no concept of what LS is. Like I don't even know anything
not a
about
Honda.
this.
It's a low end torque.
His car doesn't even
Yeah.
make power till 7,000.
I know.
RPM.
Well, my car doesn't make any power right now. But
That's true.
we're close. We're
We should
really
get
close.
Jabaay in your car and
I
have
would
him
love to
experience
drive
the
a car
LS
like that.
lifestyle.
I've never driven a car like that. Closest I've ever driven was a Fox body Mustang with Maximum Motorsports suspension and factory like 180 wheel horsepower. That's as close as I've gotten. But
You've driven like an R32.
yeah, that's true. I did drive an R32.
Yeah, you drove Tall Cows.
Yeah, I took that on track one time. What else have I driven? Oh, you know what? I did drive a C5 Corvette one time. That was
yeah,
fun.
just like that.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing.
That was all right. I liked that thing.
Well, you can drive it sometime if you want.
I haven't crashed anybody else's car in a while, but
I
I
just
have
crashed it.
crashed
That's
other
fine.
people's
Yeah.
cars, and I don't want to do it again. So I don't typically drive cars that I
Well,
can't afford. And I
Robbie's-
probably can't afford yours.
Robbie's has already
Fine.
crashed. It's
yeah,
fine.
it's if I put the Band-Aid on, it's fine.
You know what? That's how you get faster, though. You got to crash that car a few times.
Yeah, James from Kenga Motorsport was really supportive. He goes, "Yeah, all the Formula One drivers, they're the best in the world, and they crash all the time, so you shouldn't feel bad."
They don't have to pay for that shit. They just leave. Like, cool story, bro. I'm getting in my helicopter. You
look
fix
at all
that.
Look at all that
See you
carbon
guys next
fiber on the
week.
ground. Deuces.
I don't actually think that they have as much money as Michael thinks that they have.
The money's gone.
I don't know. Lewis Hamilton seems to be doing okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's like the fourth highest paid athlete in the world, or
No,
some
I thought you
crazy
said
shit.
Formula Drift drivers.
No,
No,
Yeah,
definitely not Formula Drift. No.
Yeah,
Those guys crash. Those guys crash all the time.
Yeah, Ryan Turk probably has fiberglass embedded under his fingernails for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
But
I don't envy that lifestyle.
no, I can't imagine that, man.
It's got to be a grind.
If somebody was like, "Hey, you could be a professional Formula Drift driver," I'd be like,
I kind of like my life.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of work.
I don't feel like that type of pay cut.
No, it might not be
Thanks,
an
Robbie.
easy way to play, but
I don't know. I admire Kevin for doing it, but
Absolutely.
I don't think I'd
how
want
bad
to.
is his car after L.A.?
It's supposed to be ready for Orlando.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
they
really?
got it straightened out.
We were driving to Mid Ohio for the event, and Mike Cohn, who's like one of our everything dudes at Grid Life, he's getting pretty like tight with a bunch of FD drivers because he helps at LS Fest, and he's kind of one of our drift dudes at festivals, and I think he's spotting for Pat Gooden at Atlanta or working
nice.
for Pat Gooden. But
Yeah, that's cool.
he was watching the live stream, and yeah, he said Kevin Lawrence crashed, and it bummed me out. But
It bummed us out too. That was sad.
Yeah,
looked
it seems
really
like it seems
brutal.
like that's a thing that happens at Long Beach though.
That's a brutal track.
Yeah,
Man.
for the
he has not
first
had
one.
good luck.
Yeah,
'Cause
for the
last year he wrecked too.
Yeah, for the first track of the year, that's awfully harsh. That's being thrown to the wolves.
Yeah.
Man, did you see
The,
Ryan Turk's power steering pump go out?
I didn't know I missed
That shit was crazy.
What happened? I didn't see that.
He's drifting. So turn 1, turn 2. He's going into turn 2. He's got his drift going on. Power steering pump or rack like catastrophic failure. Car straightens out and goes straight into the wall. It was crazy.
Oh,
I'm really surprised that those guys don't use electric power steering now, like the steering column mounted stuff, like the Saturn Vue stuff that other people are using. But I don't know.
I don't know.
It's a good question.
Are we sure that they are?
I don't know.
I'm not sure of anything anymore.
That could probably fail too. But a buddy of mine, the guy from Miata, Dave Calzada, he's just started selling epowersteering.com, I think, is the company who's building it. It's a Saturn Vue rack that bolts into the Miata. Not a rack, column. And it's basically like you put the column into it and the column goes out of it into the rack, and it's all a self-contained electric assisted setup. And like there's like a roll switch, like a speed control that you can actually adjust the assist level
cool.
with. They're pretty cool. I'm planning on putting one into my Civic. So
Yeah, that's interesting. Apparently there's a Volvo pump that you can use. It looks hideous and it's giant, but it's like $30.
a lot of people use MR2 stuff as well.
Yep.
Apparently
Yeah,
that's not as good
the
anymore.
MR2 hydraulic stuff definitely is. That was common in the Civic world. I'm looking up to see what that.
I think they're big money now. I think they figured out what was going on.
Yeah, epowersteering.com. If you look it up, that is they use like late model GM electric steering columns, and they basically just kind of graft it into the column. It's pretty cool.
Saturn's
They make
known for
kits for a
build
bunch of
quality. I'm
things.
sure it's fine.
Yeah, they last
Yeah.
What could
forever.
possibly go wrong?
It's just Opel stuff, right? No big deal.
So anyway, we were at the track, and the guy next to me had a Mustang. Unfortunately, I knew he said we were going to stop talking about Mustangs, but he had a Mustang.
It's never going to happen.
What
That's
was it?
the
An
problem.
SN95 or SN?
He does.
It was a Fox body, and it for sure had a 5-liter.
Are you sure it was a
I-
Fox body?
I'm not sure it was a Fox body, but it said 5.0 on the side.
Was it a New Edge? Was it?
It was
Fox
definitely
body?
a New
Was
Edge
it-
5.0 Mustang.
Oh, that doesn't exist.
Somebody, we don't know.
I'm pretty confident,
Okay, anyway.
but probably not.
It was probably a Mustang 2 with a straight 6 in it. But anyway,
was it the second gen Mustang?
it was
too?
definitely this. It was the. It
Third
was
gen?
no. Yeah, it was the one before the Mustang 2, so it was the second gen. And he was working on something, and he just reached in and flipped the ignition on, and then spun the wheel the whole way one direction. I was like, oh, that was so cool. I don't know why just thought that was the coolest thing ever, because he just clicked the ignition on and then spun the wheel, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
man, I need that.
Electric
That would
power
be
steering
cool.
is rad. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, I'm down to try it when I blow up the next power steering pump that I'm working on blowing up right now.
On your Porsche that you're gonna buy, or what are we talking about here?
On
talk
episode
about it.
60,
That's next week.
167.
No jinxing.
What did you get? Did you get a 996?
He hasn't got
yet?
anything.
I haven't
What are you
gotten
bu-
anything yet, Jabaay.
What are you buying, dude?
Let's not talk about it. If we don't talk about it, then it's
You can't jinx something.
you can't jinx it if we don't talk
It's
about
like
it.
talking about the perfect game.
I got a Boxster in the garage if you want it. It's pretty nice.
It's in your garage?
Yes.
It's in my shop.
It's
yeah.
the 2.7 Boxster though. Or no, it's the 2.5, isn't it?
No, I think it's a 2.7, and
Is
that's
it?
like the bulletproof one. I think.
I think it's all lies and slander.
Send me a picture
Oh,
of this car.
It's,
Are you going to
Robbie,
buy a
you-
Porsche too? God damn it.
Come on, Robbie, buy a Porsche.
Do you take
Yeah,
credit?
Robbie, let's buy Porsches together. Huh?
You already have
Let's be done
one.
with all this truck car stuff.
It's not his.
Okay.
It's not mine.
It's just
it's
being
my
stored
neighbor's.
there with the keys.
Yeah, my neighbor wants me to drive it so that it doesn't go bad, and I was like,
I can do that.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Have you been driving it?
Yeah, it's been trapped by my RV for a little while, but now that the salt is gone, I'm going to take it back out.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jabay's living
Yeah,
a lifestyle. Mechanical
I couldn't
watches,
figure out-
gin and copper
That's right.
cups, and driving around in a Boxster.
Yep, working on my crappy beard. It's going to be awesome, man.
You're gonna put the top down, aren't you? Cruise around
so
Chicago.
I forget what it was doing the other day. It was doing something stupid where I couldn't remember what I couldn't do, but it ended up being that the roof latch, like there's a main latch on the roof, that was like just partially undone, and I think it wouldn't let me take the keys out. I forget what it was.
Sounds very German.
Yeah, it was the most like 18-year-old German car thing ever.
You haven't finished the procedure and you cannot have the keys?
Yeah, I had to Google it, and I'm like, oh man, this sucks. I'm gonna have to take the battery off of this thing so it doesn't kill the battery. I couldn't do anything with it.
Jimmy's like, just give me my early 90s Hondas.
Great.
Man.
I'm glad I
This
got that to
sucks.
look forward to. That
Yeah,
does sound like some real German bullshit. It's coming
So you
back
can
now.
have
I'm
that going for you,
remembering
which
the
is
Audi.
nice.
And I remember
Yep.
the thing about the early A6s, the real roundy ones.
Yeah.
The
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't remember, C5 ones. They had motion sensors on the inside.
Oh, no, I have a motion sensor story with the TT as well.
So I bought this car,
Sensor?
and
Yeah.
I would lower the, I used to do it more. I don't really do it anymore, but I used to crack the windows. Well, like even a breeze would set the motion sensor off.
Yeah.
So I'd leave the car somewhere, and the car alarm would be going off all day. And then people would be like, dude, your car, what the fuck is wrong with it? And I had no clue. Finally, somebody goes, come here. Look inside this. And
Yep.
it was down. It was on the driver's side, and it was behind you.
Oh, that's where yours is?
Mine was on the
That's
driver's
weird.
side on the B pillar, like, but all the way down towards the floor.
That's weird.
You'd reach in there. So if you were going to leave the car with the windows cracked,
Or
you had
leave
to
a pet in
shut
it
it
or
off,
whatever.
get out, reach back inside, click the button, close the door, and then lock it.
So in the Audi, it was in the center console, like buried down in there, and I didn't know what it was. And so I used to drive all over the country with that damn thing because my job was on the road. And one night I was fucking exhausted, shouldn't have been driving. So I pulled into a truck stop, fucking cranked the seat back, locked the doors, and went to sleep. And apparently I rolled over at some point, like, because 30 minutes later I wake up and my car's just losing it. What the hell is going on? So I didn't know what to do, how to shut it off. And I didn't know what that button did, because the picture makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't remember what the picture looks
It's
like. but
total
yeah.
bullshit. It makes no sense. And so I just slept with the door unlocked instead in the middle of like Kansas or Oklahoma.
Oh,
or
you poor thing.
Who knows?
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to sexually defile a boy in an Audi. It's useless.
I was like
Thanks for taking it there.
21 at the time, so it was
Yeah.
real
Oh,
bad.
you were probably so cute with that long hair.
Just adorable.
You probably had a purty mouth.
Oh, there's no pry about it.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, none of those buttons say anything
Yeah.
about what that does.
But Robbie's got the picture
It's
of
like a
it.
Wi-Fi signal inside the
yeah,
car.
it's exactly what
Yeah.
it looks like. It's Wi-Fi or a light, like
It's
a dome
Wi-
light.
It's a Wi-Fi or a dome light button.
So
for
you have
sure.
Wi-Fi inside the car or Wi-Fi outside of the car, or you have a speaker. That's what the buttons look like.
It never made any sense.
You want
to me.
inside or outside Wi-Fi?
Yeah, it was one of 3 buttons in my center console. I don't remember what the other 2 were.
The German cars are dumb.
Did that TT give you a lot of problems or no?
All the problems, constant, never.
What year
ending
was that?
2001.
Dude, I had a 2000 or 99 or 2000 Jetta that I bought to fix and flip.
I'm sorry.
Cost you twice
Dude.
what you thought it was.
It had so many issues. It had a
Yeah.
bad motor, and I bought
Yes,
a new
it
motor,
does.
and I bought it for like $500 because
Let me
I had a
guess.
bad motor.
Someone didn't know to swap out a timing belt every 60,000 miles, like it's a wear item, and
Timing
they
chain.
bent some heads.
And it
Or
turns
bent
out
some
with the
valves.
timing chain in the VR6, it's between the
Oh, it's a
engine and the
VR6.
trans.
That's even worse. Yeah.
So it's like you have to like disassemble the car to do maintenance.
Oh, now I'm even more happy I sold mine.
And so it launched the motor, obviously, and in order to get it to keep coolant inside of it, I had like 10 runs to the hardware store to buy like
Adapting
barb
fittings.
and brass pipes and like because everything's made out of plastic.
Everything.
Yes, it was like that on my
Everything.
A6 too.
Yeah.
Everything broke.
Dude, there's entire
Every single
companies.
coolant part.
There's
is made
entire
out of
companies
plastic.
dedicated to making metal, like and billet and machined water necks and shit like that for those
It
cars.
was utter garbage.
All-
And then and then I sold it to a dude. And then so the dude was happy with it. His kid was driving to high school. I sold it for like $3,500 and it ran really good. It was actually fast. It was super nice inside. And then he came back. He calls me up like a week later and he's like, "It's not running all that good. It's throwing check engine light." I'm like, "Oh, great." I scanned it and it was a misfire.
yeah,
and I
you need
start
new coil
Googling
packs. Or
Yeah, it
math.
needs new spark plug wires. Guess how much those cost?
Yeah.
$1 billion.
They're like $280.
Yeah.
And so so it's idling, and my brother sprayed the spark plug wires with brake cleaner, and they lit on fire because they were arcing so much.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not kidding. The engine lights on fire because they were arcing so bad. So we like smacked the engine with gloves, and then we found it. We went to the auto parts store and we bought like a roll of cheap coolant hose, and we just slid it all down the middle and covered the spark plug wires with coolant hose. Bingo, baby! Totally worked.
Yikes.
Totally worked. Dude drove that thing for at least a couple of years.
You know what sucks about those is that when they were good, they were really good.
Oh, they were great.
It was a nice car. It was like a really nice car.
That VR6 was so much fun. It
Dude,
was
I
so
loved
much fun.
my Audi. I loved it.
It had
The
actual leather.
VR6 sounded the bees.
Yeah, it sounded great. It
too,
had
man.
actual leather.
Yeah.
It was really
Yeah.
nice interior. Everything was soft touch. The dash was really nice. All that stuff was good.
Yeah.
It just maths and
So many
bullshit
maths.
and sensors and all this stuff. It was so annoying.
It was just bad at being a car.
I figured out you could just unplug the MAF, and then the car like, oh, that's not there
Go
anymore.
into map mode.
We'll just it would just run like a base fuel table.
So it would
just-
run better without all the sensors.
Yeah, well, so like you lose like 10 horsepower through the range because it doesn't change things as it goes.
It's not leaning out a little bit.
Because
Yeah.
it doesn't have the most important sensor.
So you just don't use it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I couldn't afford to replace them every 3 weeks.
They didn't work. You would replace it and it would break again, like
Yeah.
immediately. It was
Yeah.
so frustrating.
I always had a can of MAF cleaner in my car at all times. I don't think it ever helped any. But
Once
I
the
had
first
it.
MAF went, you had to like just
game.
throw the car away. It's done. The first one would last like 60,000 miles, and then when that one broke, it's done because nobody makes a MAF that would work. Not
You
not
don't
Audi,
see
not
anymore.
what's that?
You don't see turn of the century Jettas and Volkswagens and Audi products. You don't see them.
only Mark IV
'Cause they-
Golfs because those are cars that those people are.
There's a community.
Most of the time, if you see one of those, they own it on purpose.
The only one that I know of that runs with us at Grid Life has a full standalone and uses no Volkswagen electronics.
Great, good move, sir. Good move out of you. Does
That's how you do it.
Is it Ian that had?
Yes.
Does he still have it?
He still has his R32.
Those things were stupid expensive.
They're still stupid expensive.
I don't understand why.
Like the 2002 R32s or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great.
Those are rad car. That was the first car that I was actually on track with. It was a pre-production R32. We were at a Michigan Volkswagen enthusiast track day, and that
Don't
was the
sign me
first
up
car
for
that I
that.
rode around Gingerman Raceway in.
So many toes.
Yeah.
Well, it was a brand
Michigan
new car,
Volkswagen
so-
enthusiast track day.
Yeah. That
Do
was the
not-
MIVE group, MIVE. And
Yeah.
that was we hosted an event in 04, and then I ran with them in 05 or later in 04, and they were super unfriendly to me in my little red Honda.
Weird.
And then I thought, man, I wish I was hosting this event because I would be nicer than these people. And it started me down the path of like not being mean to people. And it turns out that's the best path.
Yeah. It's funny how
Yeah,
that works.
It's not a bad path.
I think
Turns out your track days will sell out in 45 seconds if you're just not a dick.
Weird how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
don't
that's a good looking car.
The Mark IV R32, I think
yeah,
is
kind of wide. It's got a little
Yeah.
wide body thing in the.
Yeah,
I
they're
love
great.
that blue too.
Yeah,
That's
we're
good
looking
blue.
at a blue one.
That was
I
that
like
was the
it.
car I rode
That's-
around the track in.
so that's basically a V6 Audi TT because
Oh yeah, yeah.
because they have the all-wheel drive system in it and so the rear suspension's a little bit different and the front suspension's a little bit different but that's the only way you could get that motor with a manual. They put that motor in the TT but only with an automatic in the US.
Yeah, it was a cool car. Like they had a lot of low end power, and I remember going around the track thinking, "Wow, it does things so weird." Like it would come in, it would like push a little bit, and then it would like start to rotate neutrally, and he would just get on the throttle, and it would come out, and the back end would just walk just a little bit, and stock like out of the box, it was a really good car.
You know why it does that? You know why it understeers and then fixes itself? It's because
Nope.
that thing disengages the rear wheels all the time.
Oh, okay.
And
the Haldex
only
system or whatever?
only uses rear wheel bias at all when it senses slip.
Okay.
And they were all but impossible to drive in the snow fun because it would
was
just
pretty fun in the
chronically
drive,
understeer
but-
forever.
Yeah, that could be awkward in the snow. It could be awkward.
What do they call those?
Halodex.
Halodex.
Haldex.
Haldex?
They're Swedish.
Why do people like freak out? Like, oh, this is the only all-wheel drive system is the Haldex. Blah blah blah.
think
Your
there's
BMW is
some
dumb.
other versions of Haldex's all-wheel drive systems that are great, but I don't think that the one they put in the TT and the R32 were great.
So maybe the later Audi ones are better.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, there's a bit of a cult-like mentality with a lot of Volkswagen things, in case you haven't noticed.
And Hondas.
Yeah. You know, Hondas are okay, but the Volkswagens, those guys.
That's another level.
When
Yeah.
people start putting German license plates on stuff, that's when I'm time to get out. No, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. See you guys
All my
later.
Volkswagen friends in college had the wide front plate.
Yeah.
They all
Absolutely.
had it,
Yep.
Somebody had
including my roommate.
Somebody had there was an X5, like
Oh,
the
no.
first gen X5.
Oh, I know who
Yeah.
this is.
Do they have a Iowa plate that's a
Yep.
legitimate plate, but they don't have it on there, at least not anymore. They have the wide plate with the same letters and shit on it and their
Yep.
registration
Yep.
thing. I'm like, that you can't. That's
No,
not.
that's not legal.
That's not a thing.
They do it anyway.
E36 M5, that thing was rad. Or X5 or whatever. that thing
X5
was.
is not rad. That's the SUV.
No,
could
they,
get
they
it in
made
a
them in
manual,
stick,
though.
I mean, they're
Here.
garbage vehicles, but they made
They're
them in
they're
stick.
very bad, but you could get it with a manual.
Yeah, that's pretty rad. I would love to drive one and not own it and not maintain it. But
Yeah. It's a lot of
Yeah.
cars that way.
I did think they were really good looking vehicles back then. BMW does know how to make a thing look pretty nice, but
I mean, that's
I
your
don't
opinion.
I don't like their interiors on the new
I
stuff.
do not. I never want to own one ever.
You know
I
what's really
never
annoying?
want-
Allison Bell
Yep.
has an M3. I
Yep.
didn't realize it was her M3, and I
Yep.
was like, "Ooh, this is sick." I'm like looking at it and doing all like, "This is really cool." Man, it would kind of be cool to have one of these. And then yeah, Chris caught me and damn it. But it is cool. Like it's really small.
She's
really
really
small.
46, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
but they're really really small.
Yeah.
And they're 333 horsepower, I think.
Yep.
Or maybe it was a little less in America, but they're
E46?
Yeah.
small.
E46.
two
They
doors?
have that much power?
M3.
Yeah, the M3s straight six. I think it's
I've
NA
driven
too.
one E46 M3. David Calzada from K Miata has one as a daily driver, or had one
Yeah,
until
look
it
at that.
broke. He still got it. And it was a pretty rad car. We drove it down to Cincinnati one time to full throttle indoor karting for like the Midwest something track day exhibition or something. I don't know. He had a booth, but it was a fun car to drive. I liked it. It was stock. It looked older inside than it was. It looked like a 92 inside. Like it had very analog field
Oh,
gauges.
yeah. Well,
okay
it's
with
for a
that.
while
I'm
BMW
totally okay with
got
that.
like really stuck
Yeah,
on
no, I had
LEDs.
no complaints there.
Red LEDs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it had all the red dash lights and everything.
Yeah, I don't know
really?
why that was like a BMW thing. Is like everybody's going to full color LED displays, and BMW's like, nope, we like our little LED blocks, and we make to make the temperature and all this
displays.
stuff. I don't know why
We
they
want
were.
everything to look like the early '90s.
Yeah, we're gonna keep the
head
90s
stereo
around.
decks. But
I'm okay with that.
But that's a great. I really
I
really like that.
they are
car.
I
really pretty
really like their
cars.
tagline on their advertisement.
What's it say?
God.
Introduce your heart to your throat.
That seems inappropriate. There's a lot of stuff going on there.
That's really what
Wow.
they said.
Yes.
Oh, it's on the BMW.
Is it for a dealership?
It's a BMW advertisement. Adam, introduce your heart to your throat.
I gotta look this up. That's an awkward one.
Just search
that's
M3
amazing.
BMW E46.
Look for,
it's literally the first thing that pops up.
is that Laguna Seca blue?
Something like that.
Sure.
We're going to piss off all the BMW owners now. 'cause
I'm
it's not.
fairly confident that that's what. Last time I said that worked out really great.
I got so many messages about that.
I was right. It is Laguna
Introduce
Seca
your heart to
blue.
your throat. I found it.
Yep, there it is.
Jesus.
That is a weird ad. What does
Yep.
it even mean?
I don't know.
It's got to be dirty, right?
I don't know. Hey, that's the car. That's the same color car that Calzada has, and he's got this adapter kit now to put a K series Honda onto that transmission, and it is tempting to put a Honda drivetrain in one of those things.
So we've talked about him already on the show. Matt DeRoos has one of those as well,
Yeah,
and he's putting an LS in it.
Yeah.
And
I just spent 40 hours with Matt DeRoos.
yeah, RV after Mid Ohio. He's in the group messenger I'm in for the Champ car that I teamed on last year, and they're actually at Road America right now. Not Matt, but the rest of the team. And I messaged, and I was like, "Hey Matt, so you putting a K series in? Are you pulling that LS out, putting a K series in your BMW and taking it GLTC racing now?" He's like, "Actually, Bradley and I talked about it when it was first introduced, putting it in an E36 chassis."
They bought an E36 also. Yeah. Brad bought like a mint E36 for like $500. And his wife, by the way, came down to Florida, and she is freaking cool. She doesn't give a crap about how silly these dudes are. They piss all their money away, spend all their time on race cars, and she is just like, "Hey, let's make sandwiches. It's awesome." She's the best.
Brainwashed. I think that's called Stockholm syndrome.
Yep.
She's just coping. That's how she's coping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is great.
Secretly cracking on the inside, but it's all
She's
good.
dying. She's crying on the inside. For
So
sure.
after the rules were released on Christmas Day, I think it was Adam that texted me first, and he said, "I think you just ruined Time Attack," because like all the Time Attack drivers were talking about building wheel-to-wheel cars then.
All of them.
And Will All Young did. He did it, and he ran in the first event, which was, I mean, the car was so put together too. But James Houghton is he's threatening it heavily. Because Time Attack is really expensive. It's freaking hard to do.
No, unlimited class Time Attack's
you don't say.
expensive.
Yeah,
Weird.
It's impossible. Dude, he told me how much of his percentage of income that he spends on the Time Attack program is. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, it's crazy.
We'll leave that out, but yeah,
It's crazy.
it's too much. And he's got a huge sponsor package.
Yeah, he's got a lot of help, and it's a big chunk of his daily income. But and after the first race, it like the race went so well, and it was so good, and it was on live stream, and people were watching it. And Chris, the main founder of Grid Life, he runs upstairs, and Tom O'Gorman and I are in the booth, and he opens the door, and he just goes like, "Oh my gosh, we broke Time Attack." Because it was so exciting. It was the best racing that we've like ever seen. And it was so clean. Now we just got to keep up the pace. So that was my little baby. That was my project that we built for years. I mean, literally I wrote the first rule set for it in 2015. So it took almost like 4 years to flesh out, but it really turned out good. I was the night before we ran the first event, Friday night at Mid-Ohio. I went to bed at like 11:30. I'm trying to be like legit human being, responsible person. And I just laid in bed the entire night, no sleep. I was so anxious. I was so nervous. And I don't know. They did a really good job. The drivers were perfect. And the live stream was so fun. It was more fun. It was like more fun than driving. Tom and I both had like cars we could get into, and we're like, I think we're just going to keep doing the broadcast.
It was fun to watch. I enjoyed it. I watched as much of it as I could.
I think I watched almost all of it.
I was doing family stuff in the middle, but I tried to watch as much as I could.
I wish I was as good of an announcer as Tom, but
he's kind of too good at everything.
Is there anything that he's not good at?
It's really upsetting.
I don't know. I haven't found anything that he's inadequate at. He's a better Mexican salsa eater than me.
I don't even know what that
probably
means.
a better drinker than me.
Yeah.
Sounds racist, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's really good at broadcasting.
He is.
He's annoyingly good at racing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So fast.
He the very last, like the second to last lap after a 14-hour enduro, we burned the tires down to like nothing. They're gone, right? And Tom set the fastest lap for the car in the second to last lap. And then he backed it up with an almost identical lap. And he beat his previous best, which is like the third lap in the morning. He beat it by like 2 seconds. Like,
well,
like what are you even trying for?
Yeah, what are we doing here?
No, it's fun being able to compare data to somebody like that. I legitimately think that he's one of the best drivers. He's the best driver I've ever seen, and I think he's probably he's elite level. He's got to be in the top 100 in the world, in my opinion. But it's really strange to be able to compare data to somebody like that, and you don't really feel like you're even doing the same thing. Like you just don't.
I think
he's playing chess. You're playing checkers.
I think he's at least a percentage of the reason why Josh sold his Corvette.
That I wouldn't. Well, I think a big percentage of the reason Josh sold his Corvette was that's an expensive car to track. But
yeah, sure.
Yeah, Tom went really fast in that Corvette at Berlin, like just crazy
fast.
That was actually Tom's data from that, just his lap times and everything. That was part of the reason that we thought, well, the potential is just it's way too high with the V8 powered cars. That's part of the reason we built the Street GT class.
Yeah,
if you look
can
at
see that.
If you look at that, you look at like there's a lot of cars that didn't really have a home either, like the GTR, like a stock-ish GTR doesn't really have a home in Time Attack.
No.
And like a stock Corvette is like it's too fast for our street class. It's especially like a Z51, and then you have to under tire the car, and nobody really wants to do that. And so that's kind of why we built that street GT class. I mean, it worked pretty well at Mid Ohio so far. Like the parity was already there at the competitors, and they went really fast. We had a GT350 running in Street GT, co-driven by Brian Lazenby and Ron Spear, and Ron Spear was on the podium for the championship last year.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a fun class to watch. So should be fun. No, I'm just rambling about grid life things again.
Nah, you're doing good. That's what you're here for.
I thought that's why you were coming on.
You were
true.
the agreement we had before we started the podcast is you're here to give us a relief.
Okay.
You were just going to
So I
talk
make it
for
easy
2
for
hours.
you.
We were going to leave. I think somebody was planning on making a sandwich at some point, and you were just going to keep talking.
That's true. I could probably do that. I'm consulting my mechanical watch. The current time is 7:50.
Yes, sir.
What time do we start this? About 6?
Oh,
about an hour.
About an
in
hour
here.
ago. Yeah.
So is this the point where I get booted for the news, or
You
what
got
are we
better
doing
stuff
here?
to do with your life?
No, I actually don't.
We have.
I think
there's a few things that we have to talk about with you before you go away.
What do we got to talk about?
I wanna talk
that's where I
about,
was going with this. I don't know what I want to talk
Colorado.
about. Oh, Colorado.
We need to talk about Colorado because I have questions. You hopefully have answers. And I think
probably.
that there's a large. I know we have a pretty decent western part of this country contingent that listens to this that probably have questions for you as well.
Awesome.
So what's going on here? What's happening?
So Colorado is going to be a full festival, but it will be different. Different in the fact that there's so much more that we can do there. They have a 2.1 mile. What's that?
There is where.
Oh, where? Pikes Peak International Raceway. It's
There we
about
go.
15 miles or so, or 15 minutes south of Colorado Springs. And so it's kind of in the high desert. It's like kind of big plains area out there, but there's so much more you can do there. It's kind of like a gateway style course. It's a smaller NASCAR oval. It's got a pretty fun infield. One of the owners of the track and kind of the general manager, his name is Bob Boileau. His dad was the guy who brought Honda cars to America, or one of the guys.
Here we go again.
He set up all the dealerships and everything.
Exactly.
And Bob is a SCCA national champion in T3, I believe, in wheel to wheel. His son races like V8 supercars in Australia and is also like the lead instructor there. So it's a place that's it's managed by motorsports enthusiasts and kind of owned by them too.
Here's how much of a nerd Jabaay is. He was geeking out about a Honda logbook.
Yeah, it's the very first Honda logbook ever issued in the U.S. That's rad. That's freaking rad.
He was like so pumped about it.
Yeah, dude. I was like, this is like, if I felt like I was in the motherland. In
This
Bob's
is the opening
garage.
photo, isn't it?
It's pretty rad. Come on.
It's cool. I'll give him
unlike
that.
many tracks, many tracks are not owned, especially a track like this. It's not owned by motorsports enthusiasts. It's owned by a company that wants to just fleece
Piss
the
money away.
motorsports enthusiasts. And so
Don't they
want
know
to
we have no money?
What's that?
Don't they know we have no money?
And they can't make any money off of us?
I don't know.
How long will it take before they learn?
Probably at one event at least. So the management and the ownership of the track flew out to Midwest Festival last year, and we didn't know that. And then they pitched us the idea of like, hey, let's do a thing like this by us. And so we went out there a couple times to check the track out and bounce ideas around. And there's a huge autocross lot, like it's giant. You can do 2 full pro solo style autocrosses. You could run 4 autocross tracks at once. It's got a dirt skid pad. It's got a paved skid pad. It's got a like a skills course, like off-road area, like to test the articulation of your Jeep and all that stuff. It's got a 2.1 mile dirt road course that they never paved because paving is expensive, and they thought, well, it's really fun if it's dirt. It's got 100 feet of elevation change.
Oh my
Sick.
that sounds awesome.
And we were in a Suburban, and Tommy Boileau is driving it, and the military uses this place for like training, and so Tommy has helped with the military training for years, and he's driving our rental Suburban, and it's like sleeting, and we're going like 90 miles an hour in the dirt. It's so dope, dude. It's like a full rally. It's like a rally stage, but it's a track.
That'd be awesome.
That's so cool.
So there's going to be like a rally portion and kind of a time trial rally portion for like street cars instead of full cage cars. That stuff
Rally
is still
time
being, the
attack? That
details are
sounds
still being
great.
fleshed out. There will be a full round of time attack of HPDE. There is going to be another round of GLTC. It'll be Grid Life Touring Cup there, our wheel-to-wheel series. There are a few entries already for that. And the road course is actually really fun. It's got, instead of running the full banking around the backside, it's got this like cutaway. So it's kind of like it drops down into a small straightaway and you drop back up onto the banking. It's not like your more boring oval kind of drive. I really thought it was super fun in the CRV that we drove it in. So, and the other advantage of this place is it's there's a couple of them. It's surrounded by mountains, and the mountains have rad mountain roads in them. So we're going to be doing not really scavenger hunts, but the idea is that there's a scavenger hunt and like a guided tour up into the mountains, and you do trails with your tow pigs or with your off-road trucks or your rental cars even. And the idea is that everybody does, they do all kinds of cool Colorado stuff, and then they collect back at the track at night. And then that is when like the concert pops off. And then there will be more of because we don't have any noise restrictions, we can go as late as we want. And we can drive as late as we want.
Oh no!
Yes.
So while the concert's going, like, how dope would it be to see like all of Formula Drift going around the stage, because we can put the stage like right next to the track.
Oh no! So there will be drifting, like
oh yeah,
the big guys are still coming and all that.
Yep, it's the date was chosen in conjunction with a bunch of the Formula Drift pros, and there's a reason it was chosen. So, so there will be pro drifting. There will be a lot of amateur drifting. There will be parking lot drift, and then there will be full course drift for non-pros also. That stuff is going to be released probably once we get towards Midwest Festival and a little bit of planning comes out. We'll be releasing more info on that. Right now, HPDE and time attack, and we're doing two different kinds of time attack. We're doing traditional time attack, which is like open track time attack, and then they have Pikes Peak Raceway themselves has a really like a super robust program already.
Yeah, I'm in
like
that group.
3,000 people in the Facebook group of their style.
Their last event had 400 cars at it.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. They do like crazy. A standing start autocross style time attack,
like solo one autocross.
So it's more like an autocross using the infield. So that we'll also be doing a Pikes Peak style time attack on Sunday. That's the plan. So
that's awesome.
Camping is going to be on site, and we'll even have campsites like around the oval. Like you can camp against the fence and stuff. They're laying out a whole new campground also. They're really trying to build this festival in partnership with us. So it's kind of, we don't know what the first year is going to be. There'll probably be a few thousand people there, but we're really shooting for kind of, this is like a long-term build. I think long-term this will be the coolest event that we do within 3 years, I think. So simply because of the freedom.
I think you're underselling it for this year already.
Dude, well, I mean, we don't know how it's going to go. We really have no idea. We haven't reached that audience yet.
Yeah,
we have had a lot of
3
inquiry from drivers.
I have already told him if he picks me up on the way through, but he's leaving a lot earlier than you're probably going to want to.
I'm planning on.
I want to go today.
Picking at him on Wednesday or something.
Yeah, he's planning on picking me up already.
I think it's going to be a really fun event.
You got room for a V8 swapped RX-7?
I don't. It depends on if this thing behind me is done.
Sabotage. No. Sabotage.
No, we can take a Avalanche with the trailer and then this RX-7, and we'll just follow.
Yeah, that sounds fine to me.
Okay,
let's do it, man.
All right, I'll put my engine back in then. I guess
Yeah,
it's done. It's like sitting there, and I was just looking at it.
Time to get that sometimes spark LT1 going.
That's all right. When I'm sparking on 6 cylinders, I'm still making 150 more horsepower than you.
I don't know about that. That's at least 100. This little pig's probably going to do 165 to the wheels. Come on.
That's pretty damn good. What's it weigh?
I didn't tell you guys what it weighs.
No, you haven't
You
talked
probably
about
did, but I wasn't listening.
It weighs 1,700 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
So I weigh 1,000
doors
pounds.
on.
I weigh 1,000 pounds more than you, and I would be surprised if at the wheels I make 100 horsepower more.
Yeah, with the doors on, with everything except for the rear glass in, and no fluids, it weighed 1,743.
That's crazy.
Was that with you?
Then not with me, no.
Oh,
No,
okay.
it's going to weigh with me and with fluids. It'll weigh right at 2,000 pounds.
Fair enough.
And there's about 100 pounds I'm going to take out of it next year. And I also did get air jacks for it for next year.
Sick.
Yeah. He got a hell of a deal on him, and I was hoping he could get another hell of a deal for the Neon because Josh desperately wants air jacks on there for no good reason. Unfortunately, they were all gone.
Shoot.
Yeah, so one of our buddies, one of our Good Life lead instructors, Ed from Auto Assets out in Ohio, they used to run a pro team. They kind of had customer products. They would take cars to the IMSA 24-hour Rolex and stuff, and they had an old pit cart, and I bought the pit cart for way too cheap. We used it at the Daytona event last weekend, and he also threw in 3 air jacks for me. I'm going to put 1 in the back, in the middle, and then 2 in the fronts by the roll cage plates. So, but I want to try to cut about 100 pounds out of it this winter, which I think is about possible. There's at least 75 pounds to take out of it. So
That's
I would love it to be I want it to be 1,700 flat, without me in it, and then it'll be with me dressed, it'll be 1905, 1920, something like that. So that's the goal. It'll be hopefully the lightest GLTC car, or one of the lightest. There is a first gen CRX that one of my staff drives. I think it weighs 1,650 without him in it, but it makes 130 wheel. So, but. Yeah, so GLTC, I'm really excited about it. I hope it pops off some more. I just have been texting with Jason from Super Lap Battle about the potential of maybe bringing that class to SLB Coda next year.
Yes.
The price per hour is better than I thought it would be. So it's almost it's almost a doable thing. So. That is kind of a model that we've been talking about, moving Grid Life more towards the model of instead of us hosting the whole event, maybe if there's events that want us to be part of that, maybe we bring some of the track battle portion, some of the wheel-to-wheel portion to other events. So that might be something that we do in order to more regionalize and nationalize the company, because I can't do this. The event schedule this year is going to break my spirit. It's so big.
And your marriage.
We're going into our 4th event of the year next weekend, and it's only the middle of April. So it's been a big season. And then if you include all the little things that we're going to be doing, like game night events, we have a game night in Connecticut at FCP Euro. We have a game night at we had one in Chicago already this year. So I guess 5th event of the year. We have a game night at SEMA. If you include all those things, we're doing almost 20 events this year. So
that's great.
It's too many, and I still have to go to work every day. So, but it's going to be a fun ride. I think this year's going to be rad. So
JB has a question.
JB?
Yes.
Jeremy Boyson?
No.
Yes.
Oh, no.
He wants to know when we'll see reverse grid on GLTC.
So, that's been a point of contention. A lot of the drivers want it, but Gary Cummings is kind of he's the most experienced motorsports dude I know, and so he's helping me with things because I don't want to trip on my own dick, I want to make.
Yeah, you've got no experience whatsoever. You're right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've done things, but Gary ran IMSA.
Fair enough.
He was in charge of himself.
Yeah, he's got a hell of a resume.
Yes.
He's done anything and everything over the last 30 years. But Gary was real hesitant. He cautioned me heavily to do it the first weekend, And we really did trust the driver crowd a lot, but we might do a top 5 inverted versus inverting the whole field. The problem with inverting the whole field is then it becomes, instead of racing, it becomes the guys in the front who used to be who qualified in the back. It becomes them driving defensively and blocking and trying to hold position. And that is when you get kind of a melee. Versus if it's the top 5 and they all qualified within a tenth of a second of each other, they can still race well together. But if you got the guys that are 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds back, that's when you get potential of a big disparity in speed, entering a corner, exiting corner, and then blocking. That's when stuff gets pear-shaped, I think.
Especially when I don't even remember what I was going to say now. Lost it.
Yes,
Gone.
especially when
the racing in Mid-Ohio was the cleanest, tightest racing. And like the top 10 were within 1 second of each other, which is something I did not expect. I expected it to be a way bigger disparity in speed because a lot of the cars were coming not fully prepped, but then at least we thought, but then they all kind of showed up. Like a lot of them were pretty well prepped for GLTC part of weight wise, the weight wise. The gin is kicking in. We had dyno sheets. We had full tech sheets on every car, and we were really starting to figure out the broadcast feel, like what we wanted the broadcast to look like. And they were just putting on the show. It made it easy for us. It was like the cleanest racing. Probably the cleanest racing I've ever seen at any event I've ever been at. There's always a car that comes in on the hook. There's always 2 cars that come together and destroy fenders. Even at like a small regional event with 20 cars on track, like somebody hits the wall. Like it always happens. It was unbelievably clean. And in the drivers meeting, that's what I really stressed is, the main purpose of GLTC is to show wheel to wheel to the grid life audience, the audience that doesn't even really know it exists. And so we didn't want to show them something that was stupid, and crashing is dumb.
Robbie
and I know all about
that. Was this NASCAR?
Yeah. So but we also didn't want to show them what looks like a lapping day either.
No.
And they did. It was. I don't usually get close to tears, but like this was like, it was almost emotional for me because it just worked. It went together. It came together perfectly. And I was just over the moon. I was just so excited. So
I basically watched.
It was a good event. So.
I basically watched the entire live feed all day Sunday, and Jess comes in. I watch it in the morning. I'm all excited about how good it is. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about how the broadcast is good. And then she comes back into the living room like hours later. She's like, "Are you still watching that?" No. It's a different race.
But yes.
Yeah,
but yes.
You got to understand, babe. It's 8 hours.
So it was extremely well done. I was more interested in that race than the last, I don't know how many Formula One races I've watched. Like I was into it. Like just like 8 laps of intense racing.
Yeah, I love the format, like the banger races. Like it doesn't give them the time to spread out. You get the first 3 or 4 laps, which is always the best racing.
Yep.
And you get the last 4 or 5 laps, which is always the best racing. And there's like no stupid in between. And the cars don't burn down. They don't kill their tires like in a 40-minute race. Yep. They're not baking brake pads. It's just not wearing everything out. It literally wore out the drivers way more than it wore out the cars. Saturday night, the top 3 drivers, like all of them independently came up to me and they were like, "Dude, I don't know if we can do 3 of those tomorrow." Like it's pretty intense. Usually we're used to like doing 1 on Sunday and going home. And I was like, well, this is what you signed up for.
Tough titties.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did 3. We did a practice / qualify on Sunday morning, and because we did actually have a couple new drivers on Sunday too, and then we did 3 banger races, and they were all like as good as the next too on Sunday.
Yes, they were.
Coming away from it, I think we got a good amount of feedback from the drivers. They thought it was a good amount of track time. They sort of only want to do 2 races on Sunday, but. Yeah, we'll see. Midwest Festival is the next round for it, and there's going to be something on Friday night, probably just a big open practice, and then qualify racing on Saturday, and then probably qualify, race on Sunday. So it should be kind of a. Hopefully, it stretches the spectator portion of Sunday more deep into the afternoon, where there's stuff for people to watch. But people are going to be waking up at Midwest Festival to probably what's looking like a field of about 40 cars of GLTC.
That's incredible.
It should be really cool. I'm beyond stoked about it. And if any of you shitbirds need to get over to the track, I need some help with announcing. So,
I'll be there.
That's the plan.
That one
Good.
will do.
yeah, we're going to get the guys from SimTV out. They're going to help announce. Tom O'Gorman and I are going to do some announcing.
Well, then
I
why
think
are we
Austin's
going if
coming.
Tom's there?
Yeah, what's the
Like,
point?
come on, man. Make me
Well,
look bad.
Tom and I also want to drive. That's the thing. So we need to have kind of a robust announcing staff.
Well, I suppose if we get introduced to Tom while we're there, we can be like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we also have a podcast. It's kind of like Slip Angle.
No,
But-
see, we
But
don't
check
do
our
that.
levels as much.
Yeah, our levels are good.
Yeah, we check levels before. It's way more professional.
Just come on.
Dude, why Tom hasn't been on your show? I thought
Not
he
yet.
had.
No, yeah.
No.
He's literally just like
I know.
the nicest dude in the world.
Yeah. We just try not.
We're too intimidated by
Yeah.
how great he is.
He
We're
is
too
pretty
Midwest
great.
for
He's
that.
pretty good.
So we'll meet him.
He's,
And then,
he's pretty impressive. He does have a bitchin' Camaro now too.
really?
Yeah, he bought a bitchin' Camaro. That's what he calls it, the bitchin' Camaro.
Better be a third gen.
No, I
IROC.
think it's like a brand new whatever.
Oh,
of course.
Oh,
it
is it? Yeah, fair.
Yeah. But
He's
no,
making that
he's a
pro
good
racer
dude. I
money
think.
now.
Yeah.
I think you'd get along with him well.
Yeah, I think we will.
I think there was talk of Honda bringing out some TC something cars to Midwest Festival, but I know FCP Euro is bringing out TCR cars.
You're getting
So
like
there
this
wa-
whole contingent of pro Honda drivers that just hang out at your
Yeah.
events now. So I feel like
I
they're
know.
almost required to bring a car too, aren't they?
I think HPD wants Sally to bring the TCA car. I don't know if a TCR Honda is going to be there, but Tom's going to be there.
So FCP Euro, I assume that's a Volkswagen.
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, then they better
Sign
then
me up.
Honda.
Audi?
Whatever.
I don't-
It's a Volkswagen Audi group product at
Yeah,
least.
I should know. They're literally our biggest partner this year. We're doing a game night for like their corporate thing. Like they're opening a new headquarters, so we're going to be part of that. And they're super like they're building web content around it. They're really excited about Good
cool.
Life, and they're building a GLTC car. They're entering, I think, the TCR cars, one of them in Time Attack. It's going to be fun to see FCP Euro at this festival.
I've never heard of them before. You guys announced that, and now I'm following them, and I know who they are. So, I mean,
Dude, they have this
that's working,
warranty.
right?
Like every single part you buy there is guaranteed for life. Like people literally
It's an interesting
return
business
oil.
model for a Volkswagen group.
Oh, it's like
They
buy my
li-
maps there? Done.
No, they
Done,
don't sell.
son.
They don't sell
They
maps
return
or
oil and brake pads.
coil packs.
Damn it. Never mind.
No, it's a really fast growing company, and they're trying to establish themselves as like the place to buy Euro stuff, and obviously they're doing it. So,
Some Porsche
one
parts?
of the Time Tech drivers from last year, Ben Maruski, he had a Mini.
Yeah.
He is converting that car. He works for them now in Connecticut. He's converting that car to a full GLTC build. So there will be the first turbocharged GLTC car will be that thing. So it'll be a whole new test for the rule set. But I got a lot of confidence in the rule set that we built. I'm pretty stoked about it. So
Michael, do you remember the first year we went to festival? There was that Fiat 500 there.
Yes.
That car is being turned into a GLTC car.
Sweet.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
yeah,
The baby
yeah,
Ferrari.
Anthony
or whatever.
Cuthbert.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what they call it, baby Ferrari racing.
Yeah, he bought a Civic Type R. The Type R is his Time Attack car,
Yep.
and he's still got the baby Ferrari, and it's got a full cage in it now, and it's coming racing. So I guess that'll be turbo also.
Yeah.
So we'll have two turbo cars, but and the times that he ran at Midwest are going to be pretty close, like out of the box.
Right.
So I don't know what's going to happen with GLTC long term, but the goal long term, as I said, is to have a really fun, attainable car, series that people can see. Like, oh, I drove one of those cars to high school. Do you see how fast it's going? Like, it's but not have the crazy time attack engine budget and have the freedom with aero, have the freedom with modifications. You don't have to have the factory windshield washer bottle in it. There's not going to be all the little pesky rules that traditionally have plagued wheel-to-wheel classes in the tuner crowd. But hopefully long term it's a good thing for wheel-to-wheel across all the sanctioning bodies. So,
Jabaay, I think I got to kick you off.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're getting a little long.
Yeah,
in the
we're
tooth.
probably getting a little long. We gotta keep
the show over, man.
I
Longest
gotta
show
work
ever.
tonight, so
Oh Jesus.
yeah.
Yeah, we better really kick you off then.
I'm going to consult my mechanical watch. It looks like I've been on here for about an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So hour and a half.
Yep, coming up on an hour and a half.
All right, buddies. Tell everybody to go check out grid.life for tickets and all
Always.
that jazz. We appreciate all the support. So,
Bye, friend.
See you, buddy.
and check out Slip Angle Podcast because it's better than this one.
Which slip angle? What
Actually, it's
podcast?
not.
Who are they powered by?
Powered by Moto IQ.
There it is.
That's right. Actually, it's probably not better, but it definitely is also a podcast.
They definitely do more level checking on the show.
On the show.
On the recording, yes.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, dudes.
All right,
I'll
bye.
talk to you guys later.
See you soon.
All right, love you. Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Fucking Jabaay, man.
He's a chatty Cathy.
I love
He just
that
likes
guy.
to talk.
He's my favorite dude, though.
He is the best dude.
He's the nicest dude, that's for
It's-
sure.
it's-
What's he? Is he eating something there?
He's
What's
almost
going on in that
annoyingly
picture?
nice.
He's on the mic.
He's on the mic.
Oh, he's on the microphone.
He's always on
Yeah.
the mic.
He looks. Is he got coffee? What's he doing? What's going on? There?
He's got a clipboard with coffee and
Oh,
he's
I,
on the mic.
I thought that's why he was eating something because I could see the coffee cup.
No,
Yeah.
we're gonna take that away.
All right, Robbie, did you have anything else to say about St. Louis?
Not particularly.
Presented by Factor Fabrication.
Yeah, Robbie was gonna. It was gonna be
Sneak
the,
that one in
the
there.
Adams opener guest hosted by Robbie Veerhout,
Presented by Factor
Fabrication. But
But that got taken away from me because
Chatty boy had to
I'm sure you're real upset.
jumping
by that
around
too, aren't
different
you?
topics.
I had to be roasted by Adam Jabaay for a bit. Talk about my inexperience in the car. No. So yeah, driving in the rain, sick of that. Driving in the sleet,
Weird.
even more sick of that. I do really like Gateway. That's
Yeah?
That's an awesome track.
Is it?
It's super fun.
It looked a lot of fun
Yeah,
when I was
it's-
there for.
It's not quite as banked as
FD.
Iowa, so it's a really fun track to be on.
it's longer than Iowa, quite substantially, isn't it? Yeah.
The thing is, if you'd have done what you did at Iowa, you may have had to pull a second mortgage.
The car would be gone, and I'd be paying for track.
A bunch of safety K-barriers.
Yeah,
and
so
shit.
so we can talk about that a little bit. So I took so I was struggling to get comfortable in the car, struggling with my own confidence, and then obviously as my psychologicalness, whatever, I don't know what do you
Yeah.
call it.
You're in your own
You're
head.
your own worst enemy.
Yeah, I psyched myself out the rest of the day basically because as soon as I got on grid, all I could picture was slamming into the wall, and not the tire wall. All I could picture was slamming into the cement wall,
The wall.
the wall. So I was just picturing like you remember the game Burnout 3? Like,
Oh, yeah.
where you basically crash cars on purpose.
On purpose.
That's all I could picture was the 240 being just slammed into a cement wall.
Yeah.
So, I mean, granted, my bash bar did a phenomenal job, and all I have is a little bit of fiberglass damage. That I did damage my carbon fiber air cover.
Oh, damn it.
But actually, it's in the same spot. Like I just put a piece of tape on it. It's good. Drilled some holes for some zip ties, and it's back together. I didn't miss a session. It drove tremendously the rest of the weekend. It was all me that was having problems.
Yeah. That's expected, though. I mean,
Not just me. I think everyone else kind of slowed down too a little bit after that first session where I
well,
went
and
off.
then Sunday's just going to be bad.
Yeah,
With the weather, like, what are
No.
you going to do about it?
I just
you know?
went out there to get a handful of points and then went
It's
home.
too cold for tires to have any temp. Even if you weren't in slicks, there still wouldn't have been great laps.
No,
it's
that
just
would've been
not
terrible.
Yeah.
There was I think there was a kid in the 350Z, a guy, a grown man.
Right.
A guy.
A grown-ass man.
A grown-ass man that I was hanging out with. But he has a 350Z, and he was on 200 treads, and he was putting down decent times. I mean,
Yeah.
like a minute 27, I think. But, I mean, that might be slow.
Still,
Slower
it's
than
still
I meant. But
10 or
he-
15 seconds off of pace.
Absolutely. And he was like the only one I think was comfortable on track in the
Right.
rain. And he's a very good driver.
Right.
But I did have to fill out an incident report because I went to the wall.
Ah.
So I got pulled in, and then I had to go sit with the safety guy. But then he made me feel better about telling the time where he almost burned a car to the ground on track the first time he went out.
Oh, well, there you go. See?
So it was like everyone
You're
just,
good.
besides psyching myself out, everyone was like thinking I was going to just like completely panic. And
Right.
and it's like, everyone's like telling me stories about like, well, the first time I was on track, I rolled the car. Well, the first time I was on track, it almost burned to the ground.
Maybe I'm just gonna not do track days. Like maybe this isn't worth it after all.
So everyone's trying to make even James is giving me all this advice. He's like, yeah, dude, like that. Once you get the driving part, now it's all mental, and like that's what you're struggling with right now. I was like, well, yeah, obviously, that's what I'm struggling with. Then he's giving me advice like, well, the Formula One guys crash. They're the best, and
They're
they crash
supposed to be the best.
Yeah, they crash all the time. You can crash too. It's okay. So it's just getting my confidence back on actually driving that's going to take a little bit of time. Once I got done, first I got pulled in and had to fill out the insurance waiver, and then I had to go get all that taken care of, and then he's like, okay, now I got this medical form, so if you're hurt and you don't feel it now, but you hurt tomorrow,
you got to fill this out.
You got to fill this out, then whatever your insurance doesn't cover, this is going. I was like, this is America, so I'm not going to go to the doctor unless my arm falls off, so you don't have to worry about me filling that off. So it's just, you just keep that. I will literally have to be dying before I'll touch that paper.
Right.
I won't do it.
Right. Robbie doesn't want other people touching him. And that's what they do when you go to the doctor. They touch you.
I have no problem going to the doctor. I'm not going to fucking pay for that. I won't do it. I'm not going to the doctor. I
get it.
I have to be dying.
I get it.
I have to be dying. Where's it going from there?
Then you got back on track, right?
Yeah. So when I got done at I did my last session 4, and I kept cluster fucking shifts, and I quit early and then just went and sat in the pit. And then everyone got done. I'm kind of like finished up what they were doing. They left, and then I'm sitting in my car. Everything's off. I've had a chance to walk around, get some food, come back, and I'm doing eyes closed, laps in the car, shifting through gears, so I know exactly where my fucking shifter is. Because I'm convinced I don't know where first gear is in relation to like muscle memory, and I think that's what's screwing me up. Is that it's been so long since I've driven that car, and the shifts are so short that I can't go into the right gear, and it's literally just a slap. I have to go first, slap to second, slap it up to third. It just goes there naturally, and I'm trying to force it and move it. So I'm actually almost going to fifth every time because it's such a short shift. So it's like, just throw it.
You need to drive the car more, Robbie.
I do.
Drive it to work.
Now I need more tires.
More
He's
tires.
a third set of tires.
What are we on, like 4 or 5 today?
Actually, I think I got both sets. Both sets of my 7-inch rims are for sale. I have people, I think, coming tomorrow and Saturday to hopefully get those, which would be great. Then I'm hoping to use that money to turn around and buy one set of wider wheels. And then I'm going to put some Federal SS 595s on them.
Yeah.
Just some 240 tread wear. Got some tread to it. That'll be my air quote wet tires. And then I can drive it to work. I can drive it to work. It's just give me a chance to get comfortable in this car. It's the car is great right now. I am a terrible driver.
We're all there with you, Robbie. It's fine.
That's all there is to it. On lap 14, I did 1:09.8. I'm very proud of that.
Yeah.
I could be going so much faster.
You were fastest in your session, man. You were there.
Yep. So I have a lot to work.
First name I read when I opened that first session, Robbie Veerhout, right there on top.
Pretty crazy. But driving on the simulator did help me get comfortable on track, which I think almost got me too comfortable. So then I
don't think you can be
maybe not too comfortable. Maybe I was too set in ways because I wasn't comfortable with the right mindset.
Yeah.
So now I know that my shift pattern matches the Corvette track pattern that's on the game or the sim.
Yep.
So now I know because there's no way I'm going to be in 6th. So I started driving this BMW instead.
Right.
Well, now
go back to drive the Corvette.
Now I got to go back to drive the Corvette because it's clearly the same transmission setup.
The Corvette with the same transmission
and the same engine.
Huh, weird. Who would have saw that?
I was convinced there was no way I'd be in 6th gear. No way. So
count me out for being in 6th on track. Thanks.
It's crazy, man.
I thought
That's
4th was like way too
track.
much. Like, you got to be in 4th for this corner? Yeah. All right. I could probably pull that off. 6th? No.
That's what I thought. I thought there was no way.
So you're hauling ass.
I
you
definitely
had to have been doing
ass.
$140.
Yeah, I bet you were.
Did you use the Apex at all?
Yeah.
Shouldn't that have speed data on it?
It doesn't have. No, it's not the iPhone. I have the Android, so I'm missing a lot of stuff.
Right.
That's why you should
join
have an
the dark
iPhone,
side.
Robbie, like the rest of us.
No, like legitimately though.
I am curious.
Phone arguments aside, I think if that's what you need to do, if the Apple platform is the better, has the more data, get one of those iPod Touches that you can go down to fucking GameStop and buy for next to nothing.
Oh, he loves eBay.
Buy it on eBay.
Get
You get it for like $100.
I mean, talk to Andrew or do whatever you got to do.
I do
Make
need to
sure
talk to
that
him.
make sure that whatever version of the iPad Touch or iPod Touch you buy
It has to have the GPS and all that
is the
stuff.
right one.
Yeah.
But I'll bet it's way cheaper than buying a phone. You'd be good to go.
Could I
Could
get an unlocked phone? And
for like
not-
$1 billion.
Yeah.
Oh.
Could you get the last generation iPad Mini?
Yeah, I wonder if you could
That'd
get
be
an
too
older,
much?
an older iPad even.
Yeah, I just need one with a network.
Because the
capability.
iPad Mini wasn't that expensive
No.
from the get go, and then if you bought a used one that was like a generation ago,
That'd be what I need.
it had to be
Let
cheap.
me. I do
Yeah, I
need to
think
talk
that's,
to Andrew anyways
you
about
know,
just my driving in general. But
Apple versus Android arguments aside,
yeah, just because they're developed on the Apple right now.
because that's because
He said they have to like pick one, and then they have to
I
go
get
back
that.
and do the other one, and then
the
they have to
problem
pick
is
another
that
one.
just because you have an Android doesn't mean that just because it works on that phone doesn't mean it'll work on that phone. You know, when you have Androids, there's compatibility issues even from phone to phone to phone.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's an Apple, it works.
Who fucking uses those Android
I don't-
phones? It's so
people who
stupid.
like to be difficult.
So stupid.
Just people who like to be difficult.
Mental.
Android people are the ones that like to be difficult. How's your little headphone? Oh wait,
My headphone jack works fine. I don't
My
know what you're
Bluetooth noiseless headphones work great. Just block out the
talking-
haters.
First of all, there are plenty of Androids out there without headphone jacks
I'm
because
sure.
when they killed it on the iPhone, the first thing that all those Android fanboys, we did that back like 2 years ago. We haven't had headphone jacks forever. You guys are way behind. Like, no, that's not a good thing.
no, it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. But
So I don't even want to hear it.
I do need to see. Yeah, it would be great to get all the data.
Yeah,
Then
I think
then
that's the option you need
because
to
my
look into.
my needle stops at speedometer stops at 120 and I'm buried.
Oh, I'm sure.
Clearly.
I'm sure.
So yeah, because I was shifting into 6 going down the straight.
Yeah.
I got some speed I'm carrying.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I'm talking to the guy with 350Z and he's like, yeah, I'm in third most of the time. I was like, I'm well into fourth the whole track.
Well, I mean, maybe you have a way shorter
I'm sure
final drive
I
or
do.
whatever.
But yeah, so he
You should probably figure out what that is.
I should
Because
get-
you could do it. You could do some math and
do
figure
need
out
to do that.
real
How
easy.
fast
I mean,
you
you
were
could
going,
make
yeah.
yourself an Excel sheet, and it'd be so much fun.
I could actually do that probably tonight.
Hey, look how excited he is. He just lit up.
I expect
I have tomorrow off at work.
I
Maybe I'll
expect
do
to
it
have an
tomorrow.
answer by the end of the day tomorrow on how fast you were probably going.
Okay. Well, if the weather's not great tomorrow, all my plans got changed. So I can totally do this.
Yeah, there you go.
That's really all I got. But then I hung out with Booney from Factor Fabrication,
From Factor Fabrication, you say, Robbie.
and I helped them with their BMW.
Did he help you with all of your fabrication needs?
We talked about putting a tire rack on my trailer. Yes,
That works.
Ah, yeah.
And we also have plans to make a splitter for the 240 because I broke one. But we're not. That's next winter's project because if I break
That's
more
future
stuff,
Robbie's
that's
problem.
future Robbie's stuff. But yeah,
Let's talk about splitter design later, Robbie.
Let's save it. Talk to Booney because I went to Iowa Challenge just very quickly. So I went to Iowa Challenge, hung out a little bit. It's all Booney's car,
yeah.
The supercharged one.
the supercharged one. It's good. BMWs are good. I always stick to what
Who
I
are
say
you
about
people?
things.
Who
I always
are you
stick to what
people?
I like. Pick a thing and I like stick with it. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Sure.
consistent on Hondas at least, right? I get to have that one,
Oh yeah, no.
Until you
But I-
drive one.
and then I'll be like, oh, this is great. I should get a Honda. Yeah, but I do like the clown shoe. It's nice, and the M3. M3's good. Clown shoe's good.
Yeah, I got home Sunday, and I get home from work Monday. I get a text from Booney, and it's a picture of them wrapping the vinyl. Basically, it's an invite for me to come over, not to help them wrap the vinyl, so they can make fun of me for crashing my car.
Oh, yeah. of course.
Thanks a lot, Dix.
I was there to provide entertainment while they wrapped the car.
You're welcome, assholes.
All right.
No, it was all good. I helped them wrap the roof, the pillars, and the quarter. It went on way easier than my chrome. And there was
weird.
six hands.
Oh,
So
that's
That helps.
weird,
Oh, really?
Robbie.
Not
That's
doing
for
shit by
help.
yourself, huh? That's bizarre.
Yeah, there's a lot of making fun of me for that.
Interesting.
Actually, I got a lot of compliments because Boone's like, "How the hell did you do this by yourself?"
we wonder that as well.
It wasn't that hard. Just took a lot of time. But yeah.
Factorfabrication.com. Next advertisement. Apex Pro, they sent their new packaging, just so you guys can see it. There it is. Robbie's holding it up to the camera. 10/10 Apex. If you plug that in on their website, you can get half off the suction cup mount when you buy the unit itself.
It's a wonderful unit.
It's a wonderful unit, as Robbie said. Check it out.
Especially
if you guys
if
have
you're
questions,
an Apple user, apparently.
If you're an Apple user, There's
Aces.
Yeah,
a little
more
bit,
data.
a little bit more data, but it does work on Android too.
Android works great. You just don't get quite as much data. And then when you're trying to push it, like really push it into fifth gear, deep down into this turn one.
Sixth gear.
Sixth gear. Yeah, it's following the lights.
Did you not follow the lights, Robbie?
I followed the lights. My abilities weren't there yet.
They knew it was
that can
there. It
happen.
just something happened. A little mix up in the middle.
My fault.
I think there's something to be said about like data says I can do this, but I'm not there.
Oh yeah.
Data told
Yeah.
me I can do it, so I'm gonna do it. I'll bet that happens.
All the time.
Is what it is.
Yeah, it's all good.
That's not a reason not to have data.
No, data is great.
So
Yeah, this is a relatively inexpensive way to have data easily. If you're running a couple cars or you got like an autocross car and then you got a track day car or whatever, you can swap these in really easily, especially with the suction cup mount, 10/10 Apex.
Dollar for dollar, this is the best data unit you can get.
There you go. Help support the show. It's a way to support the show
it's a true story.
while you get cool data stuff and toys.
Yes.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
News. We got
We got one more advertisement.
we got to do news really, really fast.
I want to give James from King Motorsports another shout out. I've been talking about him all week, but he actually got featured on Auto Week.
Oh, we did. That's
Yes.
right.
So I wanted to make sure that I did not forget this.
Yeah.
So James, congratulations on your feature.
Yeah.
I know it's been a long time coming. It got written up. So on the DIY section, if you search DIY SCCA Racer uses website to help amateur racers. It was on the main page of Auto Week. If you scroll down to the DIY section, it's just a full write-up on James. There's a big picture of the car with our logo on it, which is super cool. So 1010's podcast has been featured in Auto Week twice
We should
now.
probably do something with Auto Week at some point, huh?
Yeah, we should probably talk to somebody about a week.
Yep. So everyone should definitely go check it out, give it a read, and then obviously KingofMotorsports.com.
Okay, really fast news. It now costs $5 to put a car on Craigslist.
Who cares?
I don't care either.
Seriously,
Next news item.
Can't imagine anything I could care less about.
Great.
People were up in arms about it. It's $5.
It's not.
Dude, it's still a business. Like,
Yeah.
they got to make money. I think it's fine.
I think people are.
It's still probably
What the shit is that, Robbie?
The drives.
A Mustang again. What is that?
I don't know. It's the drive.
it's a lifted Fox body.
I
So
bet it's got a 4-liter in it. Those
it
sons of
says
bitches.
5.0 on the side.
Yeah, but
Short
it's a
of-
4.9. Did you guys know that? Look that shit up. It's not 5 liters, bro. And your bro stang. Guys getting all
short
pissy
of-
about stuff.
Short of Facebook being free, there's probably no cheaper place still
The
to
problem.
list a car.
The problem is Facebook kind of came out with their marketplace and was like, by the way, you know who you're buying shit from, and it's worked out really well.
Yeah.
I have things for sale on Craigslist. I have things for sale on Facebook. The results from one versus the other, Facebook times like 10
Yeah.
when it comes to
My dad-
responses and real people.
I called my
buying.
dad to tell him about this because I knew he'd be upset about it. And he's like, they're going to drive me to ending up with a Facebook account yet, aren't they? And I was like, just join it, Dad.
That's
That's the world we live in, man.
when it comes to Facebook, the marketplace is probably one of the only places I won't say. I mean, granted, you still get complete crap in there, but it's
Oh, totally.
it's still better than Craigslist.
It's just a better format. I mean, Craigslist is old.
It's
Looks
just
very
It's
old.
easier to post.
Yeah.
You can post pictures and stuff a lot easier. It's just easier.
You don't get spammed. Like when I posted literally the same article, same
Yeah,
things for my wheels,
copy-paste.
copy paste. I got immediately 5 different texts from like different
Bullshit.
countries. Yeah, saying like, well, I can't come see it, but I can PayPal you the money. And
Yeah,
it's
no.
like, I just need your bank account information and your social security numbers. Like,
Yeah.
Well, obviously, if that's all it takes, here, just take
Yeah,
it.
take all my personal information.
So
Yeah.
Next news story. The new Audi S6 Avant will come as a diesel. Boo again.
Really?
Boo stupid.
You think this is stupid?
Did you read this article? This is like the Jalopnik special. Everybody's
is.
like,
It's
oh, this is
absolutely
so
the
great.
Jalopnik
If
special.
it was brown, I wouldn't buy one until it was
I was gonna
15 years
say,
old.
yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. I was like, this is so stupid. This
think
whole
it's-
discussion is stupid. The top
Well, yeah,
part's
the
stupid. The
discussion-
bottom
yes,
part's
yes,
stupid.
But the car itself is kind of cool.
I didn't realize that
Why
it
is
had
it-
to be brown. I could just-
Why?
It makes
why-
a metric fuck ton of torque.
Okay,
I'll bet it's
so-
a fun car to drive.
I bet it is.
Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Dieselgate. Let's
Yeah.
make more diesels.
Yeah.
Like what happened there? What?
I don't think you have an option,
What could
man.
possibly go wrong?
I don't think that. To be honest, no. You're probably right. I don't think they have an option.
No, because the economy capabilities of diesel are too good to let it go.
In Europe, it makes way,
we'll never,
way
ever see this car.
too much sense.
We can bring this here in 25 years.
It's so much
We'll
cheaper.
never get one.
It's so much cheaper.
So much.
Because gas sucks over there. It is so bad.
But it makes like 570 foot-pounds of torque. I'll bet it's a riot.
The only thing I'm a little bit out of shape about is that it's an S6, and they've made some like ridiculous S6s.
Yeah.
And it only does 0 to 62 in the 5s.
It's because it doesn't have enough RPM range.
yeah,
It's
I
probably
know.
like third gear by the time you get to 60.
At least.
But it feels like an Audi A6 Avant S line, or
Yeah,
something like
no,
that.
I agree with
Calling
that.
it an S6 for me is not as cool.
That,
I don't like that
that
as
is
much.
a really, really disappointing number.
It's like low fives. It
I would
seems really
survive-
slow.
I would totally be okay with that number in an S3.
I think the S3 is like surprisingly fast.
The RS3 is really fast. I'll bet the S3 is probably faster, but I'd be okay with that number in a lower class car. S6s should be faster. You're right.
4.6. That's so fast. It's a small car, small angry car.
Yeah, and that's not even the fastest version of it.
Oofta. The RS6 or RS3 is 3.7.
Yeah.
A little angry.
You can get that.
Angry
You can
guy.
get that as the TT. The TT RS, I think, might be the best car that
Sick,
Audi
dude.
makes right now.
Yeah, because it's got that 5-cylinder.
Yeah.
That inline 5.
Yeah.
Robbie knows what we're talking
And
about.
they
It's so sick.
scream.
It's the best.
So fast,
the
and
best.
they look great.
German cars,
The best.
the
Spot
best, Robbie. The
When you
best.
sleep in them, the alarms go off. It's great, Robbie. You should try
to
it
keep you,
sometime.
to keep you awake.
Oh, I didn't even get to talk about sleeping in my truck.
We'll talk about it next week. How about that?
You get lots of time sleeping in your truck this year.
That's true.
Yeah, it's fine. I just got an air mattress
We'll talk
now.
about
That's
it
awesome. It's not important.
Is this it on this one?
Yeah. I don't
It's
know.
got a
it does.
48 volt electrical system
Wait, what?
for those keeping track at home.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I think it does some sort of like
Voodoo magic.
voodoo.
Why would they do that?
I don't know.
For the spark plugs.
It does get 36 miles to the gallon, which that's good.
Isn't it like a hybrid technically?
Yeah, I think it's technically a hybrid. They probably get people probably get like a tax thing
Oh,
from that.
sure.
Or different. Yeah, something different. Whatever. Gender reveal burnout results in confiscated car court date.
Australia.
In Australia, mate. Oi!
This isn't a real story because it didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen. It's in Australia. It's
Right, yeah.
fake
Well,
news.
you got to keep the thing,
It's
you
hashtag
know,
fake
and
news.
doing burnouts, and that's what they do in Australia. Doesn't even sound like a real country.
There's not even
Quick, think of a name of a country. Austria. No, that's a thing already. Change it a little bit. Australia? Yes.
Let's say
That sounds believable. Let's do that.
There's not even one kangaroo in this whole video.
I know. That for sure was done somewhere in Missouri. You know it was. Florida, yeah.
So what happened?
Well, allegedly, in Australia, some guy with a Ford Falcon did a gender reveal burnout with some blue tires, and the police took his car and arrested the grandmother.
Four people got arrested.
I know. It's out of control. Why four?
Okay, first of all, don't do gender reveals ever. Like,
No, we
maybe
didn't-
that's the crime.
We
I don't
didn't do
know.
it.
Well, yeah, I'll get behind that.
Okay, the crime was the gender reveal.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Fair enough. Everybody
Anybody
should
who participated or contributed money towards this should probably have gotten
should probably
arrested.
think
Yeah,
about
no,
what
I'm
they
with you
did
on
for a
that
while.
one.
That's fine. Even if it's just being detained for a couple days, then you let them go.
They-
All right.
They already have the burnout laws in place. Like, well, we could throw this at them, but really,
It's the gender reveal that we're pissed about. Yeah, they have anti-hooning laws and blah 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 and all
Very,
that
very
stuff.
strict over there.
Very strict, and he let his neighbors know, but
One neighbor
that
apparently didn't know.
That probably wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, because one of his neighbors was the one that reported him, right?
Yep. And then they found the video like on Facebook Live or whatever, and the police were like, "Well, here's all the evidence."
Yeah, it probably was a bad idea.
That's probably the other thing that we should all take from this. Don't put illegal
film everything.
activities on Facebook Live, maybe.
They're kind of cracking down on that
It's
in
funny how
every
that
aspect
works.
of the way.
Yeah. It's funny how that works.
Just don't do gender reveals. That's the takeaway.
But if you're going to do them with Big Smoky burnouts.
Or don't do them.
Just don't do them.
Just do a Big Smoky burnout.
Maybe do a burnout on private property.
Yes. Burnouts, good. Gender reveals, bad.
I'm good with that. I think we can finish with that. For
Moving on. VW, German, good.
Yes, excellent. Great.
Wants to know if Americans, fat,
American. Yeah, absolutely.
care about small trucks.
They do.
Okay, so I just want to.
This picture is really ugly.
The
by
mini
way.
truck is back, people.
It's trying to come
The
back.
mini truck is motherfucking back.
No, because they.
No, but the mini trucking, it's back. It's coming back, Robbie.
I'll allow it.
It's coming back, Robbie.
They're trying.
I want it to come back.
We've got the Colorado and the Canyon.
But they're full-size trucks.
I know, but they're still small. As compared to full-size trucks, they're smaller.
They're full-size trucks with V6s.
They're mid-size trucks, Robbie.
No, they're full-size
the
trucks.
Ford
with V6s.
Ranger's coming.
I like the Ford Ranger.
We've got the Nissan and Toyota options. What are
but
those?
they haven't changed the Nissan.
Robbie,
Nissan's old.
I'm not. This isn't. No, we're just talking.
Just let them have this one.
I'm excited, man. Now Volkswagen wants to play around in this. Tesla wants to make one of these. Mini truck is back, people.
Now we just gotta slam them.
Slam them. Put
'em on the
ridiculous paint jobs on them. Giant fucking wheels on them. It's gonna be great.
Volkswagen needs to get a handle on the look of their truck
It's
first.
terrible.
It's the bed is like.
But
3
you know
feet
what?
long.
If anyone can fix it, it's mini truckers.
Yeah, I think yeah.
Nothing looks bad
They can-
2 inches off the ground.
Yeah, basically just take this Volkswagen concept and then like turn it into a Ute and cut the back part out.
All I can think about is like Germans trying to understand what Americans like. You know what I mean? Like,
There's someone
so
put
they
together a
eat-
slideshow of 90s mini trucks.
yeah, and, like taking notes and stuff. But like really funny, like sitting there, like so like they eat bratwurst, but it's not bratwurst. It's just like paste in a thing, you know. But it's like a bratwurst, but it's not a bratwurst. I could see a German just like stuff would be like, you know,
They want a-
short circuiting.
They
Their
want a deep.
veins start popping out on their foreheads.
Yeah.
They're just
So where's the deep fat fryer go?
We have to put one in the car,
Right?
right?
This
Because
is
that's what
America.
they do. They deep fry the hot dogs. The fuck is a hot dog? You know what I mean?
We don't know. It's delicious.
eh,
Delicious.
some of them are.
So Germans, yeah, they made a pickup. I can't it,
They've been making a pickup.
I mean, it's going to be at the New York Auto Show.
but they will sell this one in South America, which is why
Yes.
they're asking. You know, should we bring it up here? It has a very small engine though. A very small engine.
Was it like a 1.6?
1.4 liter.
Yeah.
It's very small.
Yeah. Well, it's a mini truck. It's fine.
They can fix that.
Turbos fix everything.
They have other engines. They can just throw it in there.
If
They
it's
put
smaller,
the S6 engine in there.
if it's
I'll buy it.
smaller, does that mean that there's less parts to break? Because that wouldn't be all bad.
No, it's
Probably more
twice as many parts.
sensors. Yeah, they probably put more sensors on to make sure stuff's
more
not
plastic
breaking.
coolant pipes.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, my Audi had those too. That's what I was saying. It's like
ITT had it.
I had vacuum hoses that had
Yeah, so
plastic
many
fittings. I was like, what
yeah.
the shit is this?
Dude, my oil dipstick tube was made of plastic and came up through the exhaust manifold or through the intake manifold and got hot and brittle and broke one time. And so then I had to buy the car sat for like 3 days while I waited for the new dipstick tube to come because
Oh
I couldn't
my
drive the fucking
gosh.
car around.
Because it shot oil out everywhere,
Yeah.
and you didn't know how much oil was in it.
I mean, there probably wasn't enough in it all the time anyway, but
German cars are terrible. They're just the worst.
That's not what you just said.
no one should ever buy Volkswagens or Audis or Porsches.
Or, yeah, BMWs are dumb.
You know who makes
Mercedes.
a great car? The Italians.
The Italians make a very high quality vehicle.
Buy a Fiat
Sure.
or a Dodge.
Get a Dodge.
There you go.
Don't do a burnout in it with colored tires. Just do a burnout with.
Just a normal burnout.
Just do a normal burnout.
You know what?
At your
When
own
Dodge
risk.
brings back the mini truck, that'll be the best one.
Yeah.
Because they'll be like, "All you fuckers are wrong.
It's got to
This
be
is what we
smaller and it
need.
needs a V8.
Here it is." And they're gonna put a Hellcat in it. It's gonna be the best.
I did have an epiphany today that you're going to
Oh?
appreciate.
Oh, I'm
you are
excited.
truly going to appreciate this.
Glad I'm sitting down.
I think
Oh,
that the
man.
best S10 is actually the 80s S10.
Oh, I don't appreciate that at
The
all.
real squarey one.
Yeah.
I don't like that one. At all. No way, dude.
Oh, man.
Mine's
The little
better.
two
Shit's going wild.
The two-seater with the nothing behind
Square.
it.
Everything's square.
it's
Square, square,
and then
square,
it's
square,
It's
square,
two
square.
seats, a steering wheel, and then a bed.
That's what mine is.
Yeah, I mean, it's different.
It's
totally-
better looking.
No.
Oh, for sure.
No, dude.
Man, it's confusing to follow this show. It's sort of like German cars are good, they're bad. Italians are reliable.
They're not.
80s cars are good, 80s cars are bad.
Yeah, what the heck? It's
Robbie
like,
hates 80s cars.
Right, Robbie
loves
likes 80s
Oh, no.
cars.
See, it's 80s trucks.
Yeah, Robbie likes 80s
It's a totally
trucks.
different thing.
It's true.
What about the Mazda B series?
Good.
Good.
Mazda B
This
series
is
is good.
especially
Oh, man,
the
if
old ones.
Mazda brought back a pickup truck.
That's where it's at, dude.
That would be
That's
what's
the
up.
play.
They would bring back a good one too.
Or the Datsun? The Nissan.
Nissan.
Hardbody.
Why is it called hardbody? It's like
It's the worst.
it's
name.
the worst. Like
Nah,
who
it's
came
like-
up with
it's
that,
like,
dude?
It's like
It's the-
hypersexual. It's good.
No, it's bad. It's real bad.
Hard body. I'm here for the hard bodies.
Man.
That's from Always Sunny also. That's an Always Sunny reference.
What?
That's a real deep Always Sunny in Philadelphia
Oh, okay.
reference, the
All
hard
right.
body thing.
I'm not there.
Is that the one where they're trying to find male friends? where they got
it might be.
It's the bicep.
Yeah.
It looks like a penis.
It looks like a penis. No, I think that it was either that or it was when Mac was trying to have sex with a tranny. It was one of those.
That was a good episode too. That's literally what it was called. Mac has
such a good
need
show.
to watch
It's
that
a great show.
more.
It's like total degenerate,
Katie,
like real bad.
Katie thinks it's stupid
It's so good.
because it kind of is, which
It
is
is
why it's
stupid.
great.
It's
But
like Trailer Park Boys. It's the dumbest TV
I
show.
can't watch
It's
that.
so
I
stupid.
haven't done Trailer Park Boys, but
I've seen all of them. It's the worst
I
TV
can't
show
watch
ever.
it. It's too fun.
It is dumb because when I was in college, my roommates were watching it. I was like,
Yeah.
this is literally the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my entire
Yeah.
life. And then I'd watch 6 episodes. I don't know what happened.
That's like early South Park for me. I thought it was the dumbest thing, and then next thing I know, I'm 6 episodes into it. Yeah.
Early South Park with the anal probe, the aliens.
That was it, yeah, that's
Early
what-
South
I've
Park's
I've
bad.
seen that episode so many times. I laughed my ass off. That show is terrible and great at the same time. Trailer Park Boys.
Yo, I need to watch it. At least I need to try it.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. Start in the
Have
middle.
either of you watched Letterkenny?
Some of them, yeah.
No, I've heard that that's supposed to be good.
It's pretty
Yeah,
funny. It's like real dry. And
Yeah.
it's pretty
That's
good.
why I'm not sure if I can watch
This-
whole episodes.
I've just
at
seen
a time.
clips. I don't know. If
Yeah, I just see clips on Facebook, and they're funny, but like
I'm not gonna watch an hour.
I don't know.
of it.
I don't know that I can watch 30 minutes of it at once.
Maybe they're better. I don't know.
TV show. We haven't really done TV show reviews. Somebody's gonna be mad about something.
Or we should do that.
Could do some
We'll
TV
stack
show-
rank those
TV shows.
Robbie and I were talking last week when you weren't in here. A stack rank podcast would probably be huge.
Yeah, it'd be
Just
a lot bigger than this podcast.
Every week is a top 10.
Just a different. We'll just do different topics.
Yeah,
we'll
it'd
just
be,
stack rank
it'd be
things
300
inside
or
of that topic.
400 times bigger than this podcast would be.
It would actually probably.
We could
be
probably
really
actually
good.
make money and quit our jobs if
broad
we did that.
appeal and whatnot.
Yeah, go to LA and live that lifestyle.
Oh, I don't
drinking
wanna do that.
lattes and
Let's
all.
calm
That's
down on
you
what
got to
I'm
go to
going.
if you're gonna do a podcast, you got to
That's
go to
just a
LA
fucking thing.
because all they do, those guys are like, you could be on my podcast and then I could be on your podcast and then we could like switch studios. They do this. They switch studios. I have no fucking idea why. It's like I'm gonna record here and you record here. And then we'll just flip her. It's like, but you weren't on each other's shows. You just were in different places. And there's like a different logo on the wall that's not yours. What are you doing? That doesn't make any sense. They do it. It's crazy.
You have a podcast?
Yeah, I have a podcast. You want a podcast where I podcast? Well, I podcast where you podcast? Let's do that. I don't get it. But their podcasts are huge. They're like
Huge.
massively huge.
Yeah.
We're just three idiots in Iowa.
And
One of
it
the
doesn't make
biggest-
any sense at all.
One of
We're
the
trying
biggest
so hard.
podcasts out there right now is that fucking Ron Burgundy bullshit.
It's a fake podcast.
I know it's a guy pretending to be another guy interviewing people.
I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, that went from like nothing to like the biggest podcast.
That's
because
because he started out with a giant budget.
Of course.
Whatever. Let's stop this podcast and do it next week.
We'll be doing it differently, but sort of the same.
We're going to do it at a different place where somebody else does a podcast. And they'll do a podcast here while we're doing a podcast there.
You guys will do a podcast here, and
we will be doing that.
I'll call
sort of.
in.
Oh, yeah. Robbie's
that's
calling
right.
in next
Robbie's
week.
calling in.
Yeah,
Because he's out of town for work stuff. Because apparently he needs to buy tires
keep paying me
every week. See ya.